Hello, guys and girls. Welcome. It is our third place match week here of ANZ PL. 1 week out from our huge grand finals in Fortress. And, gents, an exciting night nonetheless. There's a couple of big things tonight I think we want to talk about. Firstly, for some people, they're going to say, maybe this was the grand final game I expected, and I get it in that third, fourth place match. Secondly, and I don't know, Jordan, maybe more importantly, it's the WeeGees versus the CeeCees first up tonight. And I have been seeing all over social, all in the forums, all on the YouTube videos, just how hyped people are for this game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that third, fourth place match is one that I probably would have said I think was my prediction for the grand final. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did say that last week. So I'm a little bit surprised to be there, but I'm looking forward to it and seeing how Matildas and Skorpions are going to be able to deliver. But obviously, WeeGees versus CeeCees. I've had a look at the team lineups, Ben. I feel like this is going to be a little bit one-sided. I think this one might be a 7-0 every day of the week. But who am I to say?
We'll have to wait and see. Kev, for you, an exciting night. We didn't get to see the show match last year on stream, and the two teams coming through to our third, fourth place match. A lot of very talented players, very experienced players in both of those teams. And I was saying to Jordan earlier, I wonder how it's going to play out in this scenario, because it feels like maybe a little bit of the pressure's off tonight as well, right? Like, you're still playing for pride, you're still playing for more prize money, but at the same time, you know, you've already not made it to finals, and maybe that brings out, I don't know, the best in some of these guys who perhaps struggled under pressure last week.
There's going to be less pressure for sure. I agree with you on that one. Obviously, you still want to come third because it's not only just money, but there's also gold. You get more of that over the fourth position. But no pressure. You haven't made your way into the finals, unfortunately. So it's not the case of, all right, every shot counts right now, otherwise we're not going to make land finals. It's the final game of the season. Probably haven't had the chance to have too much practice. Just have a bit of fun with it. Try your hardest to see where you go.
Jordan, let's have a quick chat about our last week's matches, and we do see our semi-final results here. I'm not going to say that they were upsets. Perhaps game one was an upset, right? So, like, coming into the top of the show last week, I think a lot of people probably didn't see the Bulldogs taking out the Matildas. Of course, Jordan, the Matildas coming through, I don't think they'd lost a game. They barely lost any maps since the start of the season.
Yeah, I definitely think that first one was an upset. Obviously, Matildas will probably be pretty disappointed with the way that things did pan out there, but Bulldogs did have that pretty hot run of form going into that game, and it seems to have continued. So it seems like they're peaking at the right time. Hopefully, they've got something left in the tank for the finals. Hopefully, they can hit another level, because we know what a strong team the Sentinels can be. And to that second match, I think I probably would say it was an upset. You know, I think it was. Skorpions did come in as second seed, so they had that advantage. They looked like the better team, particularly towards the end of the season. It seemed like Sentinels had gone into a bit of a hole, but they dug themselves out of it quite nicely with that playoffs buff and a very, very nice reverse sweep as well. I mean, at 3-0, it was kind of hard to imagine Sentinels even getting around, let alone 4 of them in a row.
It was done and dusted, I thought, to be honest, Kev. At that point, we were talking about ways in which the Sentinels could start to make their way back. They'd, they had one more chance, and it was on Himmelsdorf. I think they just needed to find themselves a way to start grinding. And from there, it moved on to Cliff. And Cliff was a pretty crazy game, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I went back and reviewed that afterwards. We were sitting inside the channel as well. I don't know if you were there, Ben. I don't know if Jordan was there as well, but JT was streaming his POV. I think that's going to be one of the most famous moments of ANZPL. When you think about it, it's going to be that clip fight between Cindy and JT. JT pretty hard done by. I think that's the realistic fact of it. I've never seen someone getting trolled so hard by a little edge of a rock and a TVP gun, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Sentinel is still the class and the character to get through to the finals. I don't know. I don't even know what to say for the South Sydney Skorpions at this stage. It's just heartbreak after heartbreak, and not really their own undoing. You can't even say that Cliff was a mental game where they just went mental boom or anything like that. I felt like that was just a very close series overall. Both teams had their strong points. Both teams had their weak points, and eventually culminated in a semi-finals, which I don't think we'll forget for quite a long time.
No, certainly going to be a difficult game to beat, that's for sure. Our playoff for third is what we're looking at tonight. The Matildas up against the Skorpions. That is, it's going to be an exciting one. And then, as we said, next week, May 22, it's a Saturday, the Brisbane Bulldogs up against the North Sydney Sentinels, live from Fortress in Melbourne. ! Finals in the chat if you want to find out more about that one. But that brings us to where we are tonight. As we said, our third place match is going to roll following after our WeeGees versus CeeCees. But gentlemen, there are some big names coming up in this first show match tonight. I don't want to say that it's going to be more hype than the grand final, but there's an opportunity for a bit of fun times, I would expect.
Yeah, definitely. It depends. It really depends. I'm quite interested to see what kinds of setups these teams come in with, whether or not we're going to be seeing serious business mode or whether we're going to be seeing some kind of memes. Are there the tank restrictions that there are in regular modes as well? Or do we just get to all choose, 5 EBRs? That could be kind of fun.
5 mouse. Yeah, I'm ready to see what they roll out with. Kev, what are your thoughts for this? I heard from you before that you thought maybe you had some concerns about a score line of maybe something along the lines of 0-7 after all seven.
That was Elfish Guy. Don't put Elfish Guy's words in my mouth. Yeah, I never said anything about it being one-sided.
Okay, so what do you think the score's going to be? 1-6?
No, actually, I think this one's going to be pretty close. I have it on good authority from my inside sources that the CCs will be bringing something special to the table. The problem is I don't think it's going to be the how do I say it?
Okay, yeah.
It's going to be interesting. And I asked, is it a capital INT? And they said yes. It could very much be interesting with a capital INT. So we'll have to see how it goes. Napa apparently has been cooking up some strats, so
what happens if you just run 5 Artie? Anyway, I think this is going to be an exciting one. And I want to see, what are the WeeGees like as a team? You know what I mean? Like, they're all very, very skilled wargaming employees, community managers. Vondel, for example, is very good at dealing with your complaints. If you do want to write a 5,000-word essay and bring it to Fortress and hand it to him to complain about artillery, then I'm sure he will take it with the kindness that you would expect from someone like Vondel. But when he's getting smashed on the battlefield, is he going to rage like Elfish Guy? That's the real question. How much does it take to tilt the WeeGees in this scenario?
I will say I've mellowed out in my old age. I definitely don't rage as much as I used to. I have only played a couple of games with Vondel, once against him. Kev was there. We absolutely smashed him. He kind of entered it down the middle of the map. The other time I played with him was, I think we were playing in like Tiger 2s or something, and he kind of carried. So I'm just feeling like maybe Vondel's a bit of a seal clubbing noob basher, and I don't think he's going to be able to stand up to the test of the tier 10 battle here in a super competitive environment. I'm quite interested. I'm quite looking forward to it.
It could be quite one-sided, but we'll see how much capital INT interesting it is. This is our WeeGees team, Kev. Talk us through J-Rated. Somehow going to end up captain. Who let that happen?
I think at the end of the day, he probably just went over to Jimmy's.
He probably nominated himself.
And then because he's the boss of Vondel, or as far as I know, that's how it goes. That he's just called himself captain. I thought Mateo was playing. I don't know if Never is meant to be Mateo, but just cleverly disguised. I'm not too certain.
Could be,
because I've got never heard of. I've never seen a player called Never before. I've never heard of a WeeGee called Never. So I'm going to be a bit skeptical. I don't think that's Mateo in disguise. So he can blame someone else if he plays poorly tonight. Obviously rounded out by Maticus and Cynical Silicon, which is always good times, So it's still the old WeeGee crew that we all know and love, and we'll probably see lose. And I've just had it on good confirmation. It is actually not Mateo, but yeah. It may look like Mateo, but actually isn't, guys.
Definitely not Mateo.
Definitely not Mateo. All right. But maybe certainly is. You see, look, to be fair, all these guys, we see them play a lot. We see them on the Tanks TV. We see them here on the World of Tanks ANZ stream all the time as well. Last time I saw J-Rated, he was getting demolished. So I hope that he stood up in the last week. But look, a lot of experience. Let's be real. A lot of big World of Tanks experience between these 5 individuals. Sometimes you got to wonder, right? Like, and we experienced this as well. When you spend all your time working in something, you actually don't get as much time to play it. That's kind of, I feel, where the CeeCees have their advantage. Yes, that these are the guys who are actually getting to play the game all the time. Elfish Guy, who we got here on the CeeCees team?
Yeah, we've got a few good players. I mean, Ravi, CJ, Napa, they're all from this season of ANZ PL, so they'll probably be the ones that are leading from the front. I believe Ziggy and Stewie are involved in the B League.
They are in the B League, yeah. Some might call it the better league, but I would disagree.
Are they playing or are they just commentating? Because I know they're definitely commentating.
They are our commentary duo, and they do a better job than you two, to be honest. So maybe you guys will be in the B League next season, and we'll have to promote them. But some big names. And
Arakta Gino, I believe from back in the day, I think I know him from back in the day. He used to be involved in a couple of the games that we used to, knock around in, Ben. I may be thinking of someone else. But anyways, look, someone that's been around in the World of Tanks community for quite a while. I follow him on Twitter as well. And so, look, there's a lot of experience there at the very least. But as far as playing at the top level is concerned, obviously I'm looking at the likes of Ravi, CJ, and Napa to kind of be leading from the front. The intel that I have, though, is that CJ won't be playing today. He got called into work, so unfortunately he had to get subbed out. But it's okay. It is 5v5. They were going to go for a rotation, so they've still at least got the core 5. And so I suppose for me, Ravi and Napa have to be the two that will be doing the lion's share of the work, probably doing the calling and deciding what's the go.
It's a bit disappointing, but good thing they got 6, and CJ maybe next time. But that gives us 2 teams of 5. And Kev, look, what are your thoughts on these lineups? Elfish Guy. Okay, we say Elfish Guy was the one that said it was going to be 0 and 7. Actually, we'll touch on the big matchup. Okay, Cynical Silicon up against Stewie, and battle win rate less/more. These are some good numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It reminds me of the stuff that comes up under Ben's name sometimes. It's like, what is it? Like average damage per game? Lots. Okay.
Lots.
Yep. Sure.
No one clarifies, though, whether that's average damage sustained or dealt. So, that's sometimes an important one. But what are you looking out for here, Kev? What are your thoughts on this one? What are our... If you... Like, I think we're all probably sitting on the side here that maybe our CeeCees have a little bit of perhaps an advantage. Would you agree with that? And if so, what do our WeeGees got to do tonight?
I wouldn't necessarily agree with that, actually. I think the WeeGees have a chance in it, so do the CeeCees. There's a lot of good players in them. Only thing I have to say for a lot of the WeeGees, some of them don't look too match fit. I think looking at Vondel, maybe he's had a couple of things on his plate, but he hasn't played a single game on his main account in the last 30 days. That's a bit worrying if you're going into a very high critical matchup like this.
That's a big call out, Kev.
And you're taking even a look at Cynical, right? You're looking at this. Stewie has lost a lot of times, has been the commander of 1AR. I've been part of those losses as well. So he's had to deal with, obviously, the rambunctious mob over there at 1AR. So this is going to be a normal day in the office for him. It doesn't matter if people are going to be screaming as part of the CeeCees. He's going to be used to it. And you look at Silicon as an example. He's only had, I think, 11 battles these last 7 days, 100 over the last 30, so a little bit better than Vondel. But you look at the stats from the last 7 days, looking just a little bit better than Ben's, which is also not too fantastic.
You say mine?
No way. Well, I have to take a look, actually, just see if I can find it.
Can we compare how many games these guys have played in the last 30 days to me? Because I reckon I'm going to be up there. I reckon I'm doing okay.
What's yours again? It's is it Sandman or have you changed it?
Sandman AU, I think.
Sandman AU.
Sandman
Feel free to check out. Don't look at my win ratio.
I'll just take a look at the last 7 days. So, I mean, look at this, right? So, I would instantly at this rate, I would even put Sandman over Cynical Silicon. I mean, you're looking at that, about the same win rate, but, Ben's more match fit over here. He's played 160 battles and he's ready to go. So watch out, WeeGees.
Yeah, I've been grinding out there. Next time, it's going to be me in there. All I'm going to say, I'm just saying, look, if I've got more games on the board in the last 30 days than you, then I'm a little bit worried about, match fitness is very important, Karath. That is very important. But Jordan, look, sometimes I wonder, right? I don't know if you remember, but we're here in Australia, right? And would have been maybe about 10 years ago, and the Queensland Maroons had been struggling, and they sucked week in. Every time they were getting beaten by the Blues, and all of a sudden, sub in the real Alfie Langer. The real Alfie Langer is back. He's got no match fitness, but the boys come out and win. So it's that experience. It's the fact that, you've watched a lot of Tanks games, maybe used to play a lot of Tanks games, and, you still dabble whilst keeping the whole of Tanks running.
When Ben
and
mentioned...
maybe that match fitness isn't as important as Kev makes it out to be.
When you mentioned the Maroons and their run, I'm just thinking it's like, in what world do they lose? Because I swear I grew up in an era where the Blues just absolutely sucked, but that's neither here nor there. It's that's how demoralizing it got towards the end. So I have to see how this series goes the same way, whether or not one team's going to end up like the Blues, just losing 7 or 8 years in a row, wasn't it? Or something like that.
It was something like that. Imagine growing up as a Blues supporter in the last 10 years. What a time. It would have been very sad. But we're not saying that's what's going to happen tonight, guys. We're not saying that's what's going to happen tonight. But I do want some predictions. We see the maps: Cliff, Muravanka, Ruenberg, and then Prokhorovka is going to be our tiebreaker. We know the teams. We know the maps. Elfish Guy, what is your prediction?
I think we've all already got a bit of a tease as to what I'm predicting here. I definitely would throw my lot in with the CeeCees rather than the WeeGees. I don't know that it's fair to say it's going to be a 7-0. I do think that the WeeGees can sort of pick up something here or there. But as far as I'm concerned, if the CeeCees take it seriously, if Ravi and Napalm sort of show up and sort of deliver what they should, I think that they should win this series pretty comfortably.
What is? I want to score from you, Elfish Guy, noting that we are going to play at all the maps, right? We're gonna play all 7.
Yeah. So
I think
I think a comfortable victory is 5-2 or better. So I'm going to go with 5-2 or better for the CeeCees.
For the CeeCees.
Yeah.
Okay. Karath, what are your feelings here? And I always wonder, who are you? Who do you want to butter up more? Like, who are you more concerned about upsetting when you make a prediction here?
Oh, if I was upset about, if I was worried about upsetting someone, I would definitely say, 7-0 WeeGees. So I have it every single day of the week. And if, say, for example, the WeeGees, if the CeeCees manage to win, should I say, then they just have different RNG. And I think Jay Rader definitely needs to be looking into that. It's been a bit of an issue recently. Especially with 1AR and Fiddy. Apparently they've got some really good RNG. So I think
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely think the WeeGee should be looking into that. If it's nothing but a 7-0 for them today, I think the CeeCees, something a bit suspicious is going on.
Something sus wouldn't surprise me at all. I want one key player from each team, Elfish Guy. Who are you looking out for to step up today?
I mean, I guess I probably... And the question for me is it Ravi or is it Napalmer for CeeCees? I've sort of heard that Napalmer might be the one calling the shots. At least that was the indication that you seemed to give me a bit earlier there, Kev. So I'm just going to throw Napalmer out under the bus here a little bit. I think he has to be the one. If he sucks, the rest of the team sucks. So it's on you, Napalmer. Kind of like with Skorpions. When he sucks, they suck. And I suppose maybe it's a nice warm-up for him. Anyway, that's besides the point. Over on the WeeGee side of things, well, from what little I know about the gaming habits of the WeeGee players, I've seen Vondel streaming on the Wargaming account quite a bit. I've seen Cynical streaming on the Wargaming account quite a bit. I sort of tune in every now and then. Those are the two guys that I see the most. Jay Raided's in there every now and then. I think he's a little bit fresher.
Jay did Thursdays. I always feel like Jay's on a Thursday.
Maybe I just don't tune in on the right
grind
day.
in.
But
yeah, maybe.
I think Maticus is the most new. Is that correct? Maybe you know better than I do, Kev. But one of them or a couple of them didn't play World of Tanks until maybe a year ago, something like that. And I think one of them might have been Maticus. So I'm going to put my my laser pointer on Maticus tonight. I think he's going to have to step up. We haven't said much about him, but if he's the freshest guy, if he's the quote-unquote weakest link, you need to be a team of champions and sort of elevate him, and he needs to be at the same level as the rest of the guys.
I think it's I don't think it's Maticus. That's actually the newest player over here. I mean, we've missed the elephant in the room at the moment. Mateo's actually cowed out and he's not playing, right? Because he goes, he has to. Yeah, he's not playing, right? Remember, it's Never that's playing. Definitely not Mateo, remember? Definitely not Mateo that's playing.
Right.
So as the newest WeeGee, who's come out of nowhere, really keen to see what he brings, what specialties he has. So Mateo's definitely recommended him for a reason coming forward into this. But we'll have to see if he can back up the talk, because Mateo obviously is very scared of being proven to be an absolute fraud of a tankster, and he's just absolutely run away and booked it.
Well, here we go, guys and girls. This is our WeeGee CeeCee's match, a best of 7. We're going to play them all out. Who is better, our community guys or our war gaming team? I think we all know the answer, but we're going to prove it on the battlefield. So let's see how this one plays out. And what do we reckon? Anything? The rhinoceronte already out there. I love to see it, and a couple of mouse as well. This is already stacking up to be perfect.
Yeah, JPZ 100 as well, AMX 13105. So we've got a few interesting things set up here. I got to say, Kev, if I'm looking at this team composition from the CeeCees, to me, that almost screams a bunker strategy on the one flag. They're going to set up a bunch of fat tanks and maybe put the 105 behind them.
Yeah, I mean, look at the CeeCees already. They're absolutely not here to have a bit of fun. Look at Stewie. There's not even a single AP round. So if you're wondering what 1AR gets up to, this is exactly it. We don't bother about standard rounds. You just press the 2 key. This is exactly what Stewie's done. Hopefully he gets punished for it by some bad RNG, but it should be holdable by the WeeGees at the moment. You can already see they're having that good idea right now, Ben.
Yeah, I love to see it, to be honest. I'm pretty keen for this. And look, anytime I see 2 mouse on the battlefield, by the way, is good for me. But Napalmer is absolutely copping it right now.
That's by design. That's by design. That's his definitely his job. Look at him tucking himself into the corner there, setting up that nice little bunker for Ravi. He's in the 13105.
Beautiful.
Stewie is going to have a little bit of a handful dealing with the 60 TP and the Rhinoceronte, but does have Ziggy in the 60 TP holding around the corner as well, just trying to be a little bit cheeky, waiting for that push. Big shot goes through, 1,000 damage. Now a big long reload for Stewie. They're going to have to do something about it. And Napalmer does go down, but that's not the end of the world. That was, again, by design. Ziggy with a HE shell into Maticus, not doing a huge chunk of damage.
Stewie's about to get flanked on, though. And he should be dead. Might not be able to do one more. Yeah, he's dead. 60 TP cleans up on Never, though. So, but this is looking pretty good for the WeeGees right now, Ben.
Yeah, look, I was going to say Never, a.k.a. Mateo. Definitely not Mateo, but Never was going to be my pick as well. But he's the first one down. So that is concerning. But they have the tank advantage. And look, what's the point of a bunker if you can just roll through the back door? It doesn't really work very well if you can't cover all the sides. And the CeeCees, well, yeah, this bunker strat is going about as well as Elfish Guy on the cooking grind. To be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if I want to eat this meal.
Wait, hang on a second. Can they actually get the AMX 13105 at the moment? Because the IS7's too low down. There should be... They have an E100, right? So Vondel, what he needs to do is... Okay, there you are. I was about to say, it's like he's the one that has to get the reset if the AMX wasn't hidden. Or you just load HE and just try to fire around it. So Ravi looks like he's going to have absolute fun. Surrounded by 3 heavy tanks.
Yeah, that was what I was wondering as well, but obviously there more often than not is going to be a little bit of a crack, and worst case scenario, E100 able to look over.
With his 3rd kill so far. They're just feeding him kills at the moment. And our WeeGee is going to come out with a defensive side victory. And what a great way to start this one off for them, because they're going to need as many points as we can feed them. So that's exciting. And unfortunately, the bunker strategy not working out. The real question is, how many mouse do you need to throw at a bunker strategy? Like, will 10 work? Will 20 work? At what point have you built a sufficient bunker?
4, I think. You need a lot. We tried this once with a Manticore. It did not work out well.
Yeah, look at that. Cynical Silicon coming out with almost 4k damage. That's impressive.
Is the 13105 even the best tank to put behind the bunker, or is there something a little bit flatter? Like a T100 LT, would that be better?
No, because the T100 LT is like wider. So
longer, yeah.
I think you either need to look at the 13105 or the Manticore, because I know they're physically the smallest. But yeah, look, this is just further proof why the E100 is a better tank at the moment. All I'm saying is you put Napalm on an E100, he would have done some more damage. He would have deflected a little bit more. He did absolutely nothing at all.
Did he even fire a shot? That's what I was wondering. I think he didn't
certain?
fire a shot. I was interested while he was sort of just driving forward. Obviously he's just getting in a position, but you may as well fire a shot out here and there and see if it goes through. So let's have a look here. Yeah, he didn't even fire a shot, just fire
Did
something.
he load ammo?
Well, I didn't check that. He might not have.
Maybe that's the advantage. Coming in with no ammo in there, giving them a chance.
You can't get ammo racked
in this
if you don't have any ammo. So that's actually a big brain play from Napalm.
You'll have to watch the replay, Elfish Guy, when it comes up in a sec, and see whether
definitely
it was there
watching
or not.
the replay to see this important factoid.
To see whether it's true or not. But no, he does. He does have there. He just clearly didn't shoot anything. Just too busy parking up against the wall.
Like, I get it. I get it when he's parked against the wall, because you need to angle the turret in a certain direction. You need to face the wall, essentially. But when he's driving down the street, just blind fire something. See what happens.
Yeah, this is a pretty one-sided slaughter. I mean, CeeCees, they try a little cute strat, but WeeGees with the power of a couple of big alpha guns, some high caliber damage, and they just pretty much farm up an absolute storm. Make this matchup look a lot closer. Then again, AMX 13105 in a city environment. Maybe should have brought a Manticore instead. I think the 13105 is too far out of meta at the moment. You need to bring in more Manticores is all I've really gotten out of this series so far.
Well, look, all I'm going to say is that was the start that they needed. Couldn't afford to lose on the defensive side, but it's one thing to roll in with a bunch of heavy takes on the defensive side. It's a whole other thing to actually come out there and cap a point yourself, right? So it was convincing, but the strategy from the CeeCees was questionable.
I think it was questionable, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the bunker strategy at the best of times, especially in a 5v5 format. And also when you sort of think about the tanks that they had to cover off the backside, to cover off the town, it's JPZ E100, which, okay, it's scary before it's fired a shot, but after it's fired a shot, it's, what is it, like a 40-second reload or something?
No, it's not that bad. It's like a 20 to 25-second reload.
You know what? Just for the sake of argument, we'll say it's 40 seconds, because I'm pretty sure he only got one, maybe two shots off that whole game, so it really didn't make much of a difference. And then Ziggy really couldn't do too much. By that time, the reset had already come through, the kills were already there, and what can you do? JPZ E100 sucks. That's basically the TLDR.
All right, well, let's see if the CeeCees suck this time around. Two bat chats, both Jay and Bondle rolling out there. Super Conk on the field as well. Love to see it. What's your big pick? Was the big exciting point for you here, Kev?
Why are there two SD2Is? What are we calling it? SDII, Captain? SD2Is?
I think it's ST2. I think it's just ST2.
ST2?
Yeah.
SD2, why are you bringing two of them into here? We'll have to find out how it goes.
ST4?
ST4? ST4? Sounds like I don't know, something out of Star Wars.
All right, one thing that I want to see here, Kev, right?
Yeah.
Because I was watching Ziggy last round. He was in a 60 TP. He was firing almost exclusively HE, if not exclusively HE. So is he going to have a Karath moment and take a full HE TVP into a battle?
I'm not too certain, actually. I feel like that full HE clip was actually very effective on an EBR. Absolutely murked him before he could do anything, so... And there's definitely some weak spots you can find it in these formats where you can get the flank around, but it is going to be this one cap pressure. I wanted to also say as well, Type 5 heavy out at the moment. All you really need to do, though, is dab a couple of 2 keys and shoot it, and you'll be fine. Oh, that's a nice...
Yeah, the E100 getting absolutely pummeled at the moment, and... This could be a little bit of trouble as soon as that TD goes down.
I mean,
JPZ E100, it sucks.
All it needs really is just to put in another shot, and that's kind of like you've done your effectiveness over there. ST2's going to be side scraping right now. Come on, load up the barrels, go straight in there, Ravi, go straight in there, Stewie JP. If you got the double penetrator and you're not shooting two, what are you doing with this tank? Should have brought an IS-4 instead.
The double penetrator. That's what I love to hear from you, Kev. Where is the TVP? I mean, there's 20 seconds left on this cap. He's going to have to get a bit of a wriggle on.
Yeah,
He's
Ziggy's
definitely
on a
going
bit
the
of a journey.
scenic route.
Ziggy's just checking out the sites. We're like on a bit of a Twitch tours here.
There we are.
But I'm concerned. Like, it's pretty hard pushing into those three tanks, I kind of feel. If you're Ravi and Stewie at the moment, that's not really what you want to have to be doing.
Well, Napalmer is going to be on the reload for the next 20 seconds or so. And it looks like Ziggy eventually has gotten around the back. So this will be where we start to see the CCs have a bit more of an impact. Who's watching the backside? That's the real question. If it's the Type 5, Ziggy could be in trouble, but it appears it's not. He hasn't even taken any damage yet. No one's looking. He has, well, one more shot left in the clip here. And gets that one through onto the Type 5, I think, in the end there. So nicely done. CeeCee's coming away with the advantage. Napalmer taking the peak with his autoloader now, and it's a 4-on-4 HP lead for the defenders.
TVP's dead though. Can't get out of there with the bat chats surely pushing onto him. So you can see, J-rated. Not going to be assisted by Vondel over there in time. So the bat chat's not working in tandem at the moment. And now the ST2s, now they can push in. Come on, someone load up a double shot. You can't do this. You can't bring these tanks and not double shot someone. Come on, Ravi. Yes, there it is.
Oh, yes, he's got it. He's done it. And Stewie slides the final shot through. Maticus now will fear the pain from Napalmer, who doesn't actually have enough left in this clip to finish him off. Actually got a 400 roll there on that last shot, so there you go. Perfect. And now into the 2-on-3. 3 minutes left on the clock for the bat chats. J-rated and Vondel. It's winnable. It's definitely winnable. But they're going to need more than one clip each, if that makes sense. They're going to need like 1.5 to finish this one off, and Napalmer is already on the chase. J-rated in mid. Vondel has left him for dead, but J-rated might have found the positioning. Napalmer has no idea, misses the first shot. J-rated, come on, bro.
Jay, what are you doing?
You gotta be hitting those.
Go. Come on, mate. You can do it. Just
Oh,
yep.
no.
Perfect. Just what we're looking for.
Vondel's
For
just...
Jay.
Vondel is baiting Jay for damage at the moment, so... Playing this situation absolutely perfectly, if you ask me, because if Jay is not getting damage, then you might as get some damage.
Yeah, but now he's in a 1-on-3, and he's on reload.
See, this is the old classic, right? This is where you start going, not my fault, I lost the game. It's actually the team's fault. Vondel's done everything perfectly here. You can see he's done the most damage, and damage is king.
Not my fault. Got the first kill, done the most damage.
Now,
last one alive. Why do you guys suck so much? I'm just going to camp in a tree for my fantasy league. There's not even any fantasy league left, Vondel. So what are you going to do? You reckon, what's the chance that Vondel wins this? It's the, how's this play out? 1v3, 145 on the clock.
Pretty
First
low.
he finds Napalmer right here.
Well, he's on the reload still. Napalmer might just be able to get away. No, never mind. Can't get to safety.
Boom.
Vondel remains unseen, but obviously that gives a bit of info away, at least as to where he probably is.
I don't know if the ST2s are spotted out, but probably what he should have done in this scenario for Vondel is go back towards like where the dead body of the 50B was, because the ST2s can't transition, and Vondel's been spotted out now, so I don't think he's long for this well. Doesn't realize Ravi's here as well, and now he realizes, he goes, oh, this is not good.
Yeah, this is definitely not good. 469 HP, not going to be surviving too much longer. Maybe not even long enough to finish this reload. See if Ravi can get him. Vondel!
Vondel?
That's a red line.
Oh, no.
That's straight into the red line. Straight back into the garage for Vondel. And the CCs even it up one apiece. And what a great way to start this one off. There was some good moments there. I would be interested to see how much time the WeeGees actually spent on the cap. I reckon they were there for like a full 3.5 minutes, and they got about 50% of the way through. So not 100% sure if that's, a good use of time and or the death of all of your tanks. But it does even it up. Vondel, as you said, up there on top, 2.5K and 2 picks for his team. Never, aka Mateo, down the bottom 2 times in a row. So I don't know. I think he's going to have to step this one up a little bit.
Yep, definitely not good. Type 5. I mean, you got to be penning your shots. So if you can't pen it, just bring the HE gun because anyone can fly that thing, drive that thing instead. But look at that, Napalmer, 5.7k damage. That's pretty big. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Napalmer out here in like he's got his boots on, he's got his overalls, and he's out there early in the day in the field, and he is farming hard. He's farming WeeGees, and I don't know what they go for at the supermarket, but if this was a normal game, he'd be getting a lot of credits, a lot of XP for that one. So love to see it from Napalmer, and it gives us exactly what we wanted, gentlemen. Even scores, 1 apiece. Heading into map number 2, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, it was Napalmer and Ravi sort of leading from the front in that last game. Nice little cameo coming through from Stewie as well, so not too shabby. On the side of the CeeCees, 1 apiece. You're right, it's good. It is Ruinberg though, and both the teams won on the defense, so I don't think that really tells us a huge amount. We do have Cliff in the pool, if I remember correctly. I'm on the right track there, fellas.
Cliff and Muravanka, and then Prokhorovka's the tiebreaker. So the key here is because Muravanka's going to be a 1-1. Surely no team can lose the defense. Surely the WeeGees or CeeCees cannot cook up something to lose on the defense.
Look, anything is possible at this point. Anything is possible. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. This is our 3rd, 4th place playoff evening. At the moment, of course, we have our WeeGees versus CeeCee show match. If you are new to the World of Tanks, is essentially our Wargaming crew up against our community crew. My expectation is that the community wins because the community is almost always better, but I didn't say that because, maybe they won't invite me back next season. Who knows if that's the case. So I'm just going to be nice from here on out. Nevertheless, 3rd, 4th place match coming up after this best of 7. Lots still to give away this season. Put HyperX in the chat. Put Republic of Gamers in chat. We've got giveaways for that. !ROG. We have our 32-inch, I think was it 144 hertz Republic of Gamers Strix monitor, which is pretty epic. So you can get in on that one. And ROG in chat with an exclamation mark in front will show you how to get involved. And then, of course, next week, finals at Fortress Melbourne live in person, exclamation mark finals in chat to secure your free ticket and to find out more. But now, we move on to map number 2. It is Cliff. And guys, last week, Cliff was the most exciting map out of all of them. So, if the Sentinels and Skorps can give us a good one, I'm sure this game's going to be an absolute beast.
Yeah, I think this is the map that's really going to sort these teams out. It's difficult on the attack, that's for sure. Napalmer and Ravi both going straight into the bat chats. We've got an STB1 for Ziggy and double TVPs out for CeeCee. So they're not messing around at all. Fairly similar can be said for the WeeGees, though. 2 bat chats, 2 STB1s. The only heavy tank they've brought is the Manicus IS-7. This is going to be a messy game, I can say that much. And it's probably going to be pretty explosive. Could be over in the blink of an eye.
I mean, already it's going to be very reminiscent of, I guess, last week's game. Or it was 2 weeks ago with how it was just a lot of the defensive side tanks. I think it was the Matildas actually against Centurion Action X. Or not Centurion Action X, sorry, Adelaide Action X. Not versing an actual tank. But, Rabbi, I don't think can spot anything from this position because they've actually pushed just across.
All right, so the WeeGees are like just sitting in the middle. They're like, okay, boys, we are ready to brawl. And the CeeCees are like, we're not doing that today. Sorry.
Ziggy's just sitting at the back of the map on his own. He's not on the boost, is he? Yes, he is. Yeah, okay, he is. That's good.
Rabbi, hello.
At least he's got that little dip that he can exit into. So he'll cop the 1 shot, but no more, which is probably pretty good given the situation. Vondel needs to be careful. Talking about mountain goats, it's a little bit slippery up on those rocks sometimes.
How funny.
Do a barrel roll.
If Vondel goes off the cliff and just crashes, it's fine. He's fine. The collapse is happening though.
Yeah, well, this will be where the autoloaders really shine. Napalmer, Stewie, Ravi, they're all getting in there. 1 more shot for the remaining TVP. Not going to be enough to finish anyone off, but Maticus does eat that one. And Ziggy will need to start chiming in with a bit as well, being the non-auto loader. Should be able to farm up a bit of damage onto Vondel here. At least one more shot needs to connect, and Vondel might even now get stuck in a bad position where he cops a couple more. CeeCee does manage to slide one more through. Woo. I don't know if Vondel can even get away. Can he? Just up onto the ridge. Now the shot goes wide. And Vondel will survive with 2 shots left in the clip.
Oh, Maticus.
You see Napalm up there chasing him down as well. But yeah, Maticus in a bit of a difficult spot. I'm just concerned that Mateo may have been the first one out again. If he's going to be on the bottom of the scoreboard 3 battles in a row, that is less than ideal. I don't know if they're going to let him live that down.
Maybe this is why he tried pretending that he wasn't a Mateo, because unfortunately this performance has been an absolute shocker so far. And it's all down to J-Rated this time.
J-Rated the red liner.
He
feels like Vondel and Jay taking them turns. Being the last ones left in the Bat Chat 25 Ts.
Oh, he's not getting out of here alive. Look at that. Double TVP trying to chase you down. Does get around the corner for a while, but he is running into a dead end. There's nowhere to go. And he's on reload, so sooner or later, they're going to catch up with him.
He thinks he's an artillery piece, but little does he know he actually is not an artillery piece. The TVP is now coming across, and Bat Chat's never going to win this against 2 TVPs. There you have it. CeeCee's once again coming out on top. Pretty easy. A lot of auto-loaders, and once they find their targets, they're pretty strong.
Pretty strong. It was almost like they'd stolen that sort of flying V style from the Matildas. Came out on top, easy peasy. Vondel's just like chilling up there on top of the hill, not doing all that much. J-Rated like chilling back there, last one left alive. Not much. Probably exactly what you expect from your 2 Bat Chat 25T players. That's what I've grown to know them for. But Jordan, we had some hope after the bunker failed on our first battle of the night. But from here on out, I have some concerns about our WeeGee lineup. They are not stacking up right now. They need to lift their game.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the CeeCees are taking it a little bit more seriously. I feel like the bunker strike was a bit of a meme. If they could try and get that one over the line, that would be the nail in the coffin from game number 1. Couldn't quite push it that far, but now we're seeing some half-decent kinds of compositions coming together. Ones that I think you can make a bit more of a better argument for than the likes of what we saw in round number 1 for them. I like the multiple auto-loader strategy, to be honest, Suncliff. I think it's fun. I think it can work. And, they obviously made it work here. Double TVPs, being able to clip out pretty much whenever they wanted to. The Bat Chat suffered a little bit worse. Ravi only getting a couple of shots off, but he was the first guy that went around the corner, so fair enough. And, Ziggy in there to just keep plugging away. Team damage from Ravi as well, so... Look, end of the day, it wasn't such a big deal. They still won, so there you go. Easy clap.
Easy clap indeed. And Napalm are up near the top again. Let's take a look at some of these replays. Here's Ravi. Let's start this one off. And I was kind of like, maybe the WeeGees are in a good spot. They're all sort of, together, but they weren't really together. They were only together enough to look together on the map. But you can see here when 4 CeeCees roll around the corner and you leave Stewie up the back of the map in his STB1. Apparently that's enough to say see you later. And I'm not even sure how Vondel makes his way out of that. He kind of turns around and does a big skid like he's in his Commodore on Dash Cam Owners Australia. But no, it was not to be. And J-Rated the last one left and just trying to extend the game to get enough broadcast minutes tonight so we can get all of our drops. So I appreciate that, J-Rated. But next time, please kill more people. Thank you.
Yeah, just play a bit better. That's really all they have to do, I think, the WeeGees.
Just be good. Yeah.
They just have to go.
Heads.
They need to go in the bathroom, Ben. They need to look in the mirror, okay? And they need to have a good, hard talk to themselves. They need to say, listen, J-Rated. I'm pretending to be J-Rated. Jay.
All right,
listen to me. You need to play a bit better. And then maybe they would win.
I honestly thought I was going to go in a completely different direction. Like, it's the image where you go to the mirror and you look yourself and you need to tell yourself that you are poggers. You are PogChamp, J-Rated. You will win this in the Bat Chat. You are PogChamp, Vondel. You will not redline. You will actually fight tanks.
at the
Instead
moment.
of
Pull
redlining.
yourself up by the bootstraps.
I
Get
think-
out there. Remember all of the games that you have played. The fact that you work on this game, you have no excuses. Just get good. And yeah, I hope that they take that advice to heart.
I think it's
and
less
then
PogChamp
win.
at the moment and a bit more Bible thump, really, for the WeeGees. They need a bit of support. They need a bit of assistance. Did anyone actually catch, by the way, what the prediction ended up being? Because I know there was a prediction who would win, and when I
I didn't see
voted,
it,
it
no.
was like 86% for the CeeCees. So I put 10 points on the WeeGees. But
I was gonna say you don't have any points left. That's why
Yeah,
you can only put
I-
10.
I had 420 points at the
Whoa.
start. I'm up to 600 now. I've been doing pretty well. I've been working hard.
Oh, I've learned
Clicking
from my
that click your
mistakes.
claim.
There is always a channel points thing. Never use channel points on any game where the Brisbane Bulldogs are playing because they'll just break your heart. Isn't that right, Jordan?
That's probably a good mantra to me.
Well, nothing that it's more so nothing that Elfish Guy's using his channel points on, because that's how you know you're going to lose. If Elfish Guy's putting points on it, he's probably jinxed it. But look, this could have been the CeeCee's throw, for all we know. Everyone puts points on them. They put points on the WeeGees and they throw it out. But it doesn't look to be the case right now. Jetto 65s, Amex 50Bs, the Strandswagen, love to see it. Double Kronvan, double Rhinoceronte, and a Bat Chat. So this, I would say, is probably the most meme comp that we've had so far out of these two maps, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said maybe if the Progettos were able to get to position in time, this actually could have been a lot of early on bleed that would have worked in the favor of the WeeGees. But there's a Batchat on the hill now, J rated. He's gone to the mirror and said, I'm a disgusting STRB Cliff player, and my conduct shall be reviewed after this game because I'm not happy, Jordan. I wanted to see some more fun tanks, not boring Swedish tank destroyers sitting on the red line doing absolutely nothing.
It's not boring if you're the one playing it and you just get to DPM everyone.
But it's like, it's not even a
Look at him go.
challenge. It's not even a
Look at him go.
challenge.
The ultimate
he's just
sniper.
sitting here. He's probably reviewing Vondel's performance, filling in some spreadsheets, replying to emails, banning people in chat. All of the useful things you can do when you're playing as a tank destroyer.
Yeah, pretty much. You could have been arty there as well. I actually think this strategy is OP against a team that doesn't know how to play. And I guess in this instance, the CeeCees being a team that doesn't scrim, doesn't play together, probably doesn't know how to break this strategy. So we'll see if that STRV can overcome the damage that has been dealt with Maticus going down. It is actually a fairly hefty HP lead for the CeeCees at the moment. So they're doing a good job of juggling the aggro. But my question is, how do they break the STRV's position?
So what you do is you keep one of your Kronwagens over there, you get unlit, and then you go to the rocket D5 all together, committing en masse with your Kronwagens as well as your Rhinocerontes, and then you use your big Alpha Italian guns to do damage. Well,
Big Alpha.
Are you okay, Jay? You good?
Wait, can we get a shovel can? I'm sure there's
What
a
are you
shovel
looking at?
somewhere.
I'm on. Yep.
he
Is
saw
he
the
trying
bat
to find the bat chat?
Yeah, because he saw the
alright.
bat chat, but bat chat's just farming, and now they're in a three-way crossfire for the WeeGees, which is, yeah, that's how you nullify the STRV. Make sure you don't get shot by it.
WeeGee's more like GG's at this point because the CeeCees have this game in the bag. Jay's probably going to be the last one left again, and unfortunately for him, the Strandsvan doesn't really, run away as quickly as the Batchat 25T does.
I feel like if you're going to play the 50B in the position that Vondel is in, you may as well just take a Kronwagen instead. And then at least you can play the ridge.
I mean, the issue is, like, with the Kronwagen, it's because of the speed. That's what I was saying initially. With so many Kronwagens, out comes a big dump now. This is where J Raider can get some farm in, but he needs to make sure he pens his shots. There is the first one. He's got no more teammates, though, so he is a dead man walking, as far as I'm concerned.
Whoa!
Oh,
180.
We're in the upside
No
down.
scope.
I feel like I've gone on a roller coaster ride. With J
Legitimately,
rated.
it makes me want to throw up. And I'm
Yeah.
not just talking about the gameplay. Nevertheless, the CeeCees come through. with another victory. It feels like we're playing World of Warplanes, doing the loop-to-loop. But I think that puts them at 3-1 now, which is not a bad place to be. 3-1 on match point, noting we're going to play them all out. So doesn't really matter. But even though they brought out the STRV, it still wasn't enough, gents, for the WeeGees to get this one through. We saw, I think did we see Madhouse play the same tank in the same spot a couple of weeks ago? I can't help but feel that the Bulldogs pulled it out. But if it worked for them, it certainly didn't work for the WeeGees.
Yeah, I think they did. I think you're right. It is, like, it's one of those things that it's pretty obvious where the STRV is going to be. So if you are an experienced enough player on the attacking side of Cliff that you know the angles that you can play around, it makes breaking it look pretty easy, which is sort of what we saw there from the CeeCees. And Ravi, I felt like was a big proponent of that. He was obviously in the bat chat working his way around the map and got those openings, got those crossfires established, and there you go.
Yeah, it was pretty easy farm for him at the end of the day. So, I mean, gets on top of the cliff, doesn't really have... how do I say it? Didn't get punished for the cross. Normally, you see if a CS does that in a normal match, he gets absolutely punished. And you have to look at this. You have to look at this lineup and kind of go, well, what are the WeeGees aiming for? There's no direction at the moment. Or I'm looking at their lineups and I'm going, well, if this is the direction to try to win with an STRV, I'm not seeing it with the AMX 50Bs and the Progetto 65s. So, whereas the Rhinocerontes and Kranvagans make a bit more sense because, well, Rhinoceronte is you want to make sure you give the WeeGees a bit of a chance, so you bring a bit of a worse tank. That's why you bring the Rhinoceronte into it. And
I was going to say, no surprises to see the Italian tanks at the bottom of the scoreboard. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, there's still a space for the Progetto 65. It has that versatility. It actually has decent maneuverability as well as like that amazing burst potential, as well as like the ability to choose between DPM or burst. So very good for these 5-on-5 situations. But I just feel like the Rhinoceronte, it's just a bit slower. They should have, like, what I would have looked at is that lineup and go, all right, Cliff, speed is king. You got to get your tanks into position quick before the Kranvagans can get set up. Because as soon as the Kranvagans get there, you cannot do anything. They've got 12 degrees of gun depression. And that is going to give you those 12 degrees of depression afterwards. Because you can't do anything against them. And then you get
How much
slapped.
is 12 degrees of depression?
A lot.
About half as many as what Karath has.
Yeah, about as much as that made me feel. Give it to me again. I literally will throw up on stream and then have to go home. Roller coasters I'm fine with, but Ob's going upside down. I wonder if you could Ob's World of Tanks in VR. You know what I mean? Like with a
VR
thing on
headset
and you
on.
get
Probably
VR headset on and you get your little VR things out and you're like, and you're like full on VR cameraman. Can't help but feel like VR cameraman is going to be the future of competitive gaming.
Yeah, I was just thinking that maybe that is like the next innovation in in-game observing is that instead of having to move a mouse, you just slowly turn your head.
What if we put the observers in a big room where they can run around and they're just like full on.
They run into each other.
Just running across the battlefield in their VR headset, they got like their little thing on there trying to get their shot in. You know, I reckon
I
it'll
did
be good.
VR, by the way, when I went to Brisbane for Christmas. I did a VR like game where you ran around and shot stuff, and it's pretty disconcerting when you.
I was really good at it, by the way, because it's just like laser tag, except not. Yeah. Except you look silly on the outside. Anyway, it's Kev's favourite map, and look, I think we're going to see maybe our second attacking side victory on Muravanka for the year.
I think we're going to see some one-shots. We've got 2 4005s.
What is this? Two 4005s, and then you got Stewie JP and the Object 261. You've got a Manticore, you even got a Sheridan. It better have a derp gun, otherwise they'll be upset with Mateo's conduct over here. Has to have the derp gun. Give it to Ravi. Come on, Mateo. Don't drive away.
Oh,
what is that?
Pathetic. That's pathetic.
Mateo, do you know how to play this game? You shoot.
Even the Artie's done more damage.
Oh, Mateo is out of
probably the worst thing I've ever seen.
64 damage in the Sheridan.
Did he even hit him, or did he just hit the ground and splash him?
I think he hit the ground and splashed him.
Oh dear.
Waiting for Jay to just get demolished.
He's about to get artied in 3, 2. Oh, no, wait, hang on.
He just got artied.
He just, yeah. It missed.
It stunned him.
It's fine. Jay's good at running. Look at them. They're good at the red line. They know exactly where the red line is.
Well, Vondel
So that
didn't.
is very useful. Except for Vondel, apparently. Well, you know Vondel likes to send it down the middle, though. So that's Vondel's issue.
Wait, Jay
Okay,
Rated
but-
is just on an excursion at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't like this excursion, though, because
That's what I was going to say.
this is an excursion back into the garage. This is like, you do this and you just go, oh, but I'm just trying to find where the Artie is, but Stewie JP's wants to...
Where's he going? Mate, look at where you're driving. There's a rock there.
Vondel, get
Drown
out
him!
of the water.
Drown him,
Jay,
mate!
get out of the water, mate.
I'm not letting J-Rated drive me anywhere in Melbourne. I'm going to be taking certified Ubers and taxis only. Oh,
Down the drain, down the gurgler is Jay rated. And, we'll sadly miss him. Nevertheless, 3 still here for the WeeGees. And to be fair, they're not that far behind in the HT pool because Matic is sitting here in that 60 TP. But I'm not sure what they're going to do to actually stop this cap.
I was going to say, here's the problem. How are you going to outspot a Manticore with an FV 4005, which is probably not kitted out for scouting, a 60 TP, which is also not going to be kitted out for scouting. And there you have it. Look at that. Ravi's just spotted everything, just gone, all right, come on, Stewie. Need those assisting points in the artillery. You're going to have to keep hitting that 60 TP. And that was one of the lowest damage FV 4005 shots I've seen in a long time. This Super Kong takes 500.
yeah, the WeeGee's not having too much success. 738
700.
there.
That's a
from
bit
another
better.
one.
But Cynical Silicon is getting slapped a bit silly as well, so probably not the best trade there.
Oh, big damage from the Artie. Excellent shot, Stewie JP. Excellent shot.
I like having the Artie cam. That's good. We can go back to it every 90 seconds when the Artie gets to fire again.
Oh, Vondel on the red line, but this time not going to be driving into anything.
Well,
But
he's
he's
going to
been
have to be the
spotted
scout. He's got to be the scout. He's the one with HP now.
Hit Ravi. Come on, you can do it, Vondel. Come on, Vondel.
Come on, Vondel.
Come on, Vondel.
Come on, Vondel.
Come on, Vondel.
He's
Come
giving
on,
you
Vondel.
every opportunity right now.
Oh, what is that?
Didn't pen.
Only 700 damage. Come on, Silicon, it's your turn. Up. That's it. Back to
Surely
reality.
they just ram him. Surely they just ram him.
Yeah,
Or Artie
yeah. No, Stewie needs to Artie Ravi to stop him from ramming. He's going
Artie
to aim
has
for
to
the
get
2 and
one
1.
kill
He's
this
going to aim for the 2 and 1.
Oh! That did no damage.
Oh, hooly dooly. All right, well, looks like an attacking side victory there for the CeeCees, which I think does put them at 4-1 and gives them the victory. But it's okay. We're going to keep playing till it's like 6-1. And at this stage, I think we might even get there. There were some moments there. I was like, this tank line, this could be fun. This could play out well. And then J-rated drowned.
Yeah, I sort of have to
So-
call out J-Rated a little bit there. I don't know what he was thinking. What was the plan? If he spots anyone, what are his teammates going to be able to do about it? If you look at the map, when we get the replays, you'll see the problem.
I mean,
They
do
were
you
on
want me
the
to bring
other
up
side.
Stretch Sketch instead?
Yes, please
Let's
bring up
out
Stratsketch. Get that one sorted
right.
while we cover these
Hold on.
damage
Let me-
shots.
let me log
So
in.
there's like
Sad.
1-4, 1-3, that's 2-7. There's like 3.4k damage between all of the WeeGees.
That's pretty bad.
Which is essentially going to be almost surpassed by Ziggy there in the Super Conk. So one big Super Conky boy, or 5 WeeGees. Who's more powerful?
A good
Particularly in those FV 4005s. I thought they were going to bring out the big guns, literally, but nothing happened.
A good rule of thumb is to try and get your tanks worth of damage every single game, and they're certainly not upholding that end of the bargain. I feel like Napalmer probably could have lived here if he didn't hit quite so hard, but that's fine. But yeah, look at the map. Who's going to help J-Rated? No one. Kev's going to have a fantastic strat sketch set up for us. I'm so looking forward to this. It's going to be amazing.
I mean, I'm setting up. It's I'm just
Yeah,
typing
it doesn't
in a
need
lot
to
of
be now,
tank.
Kev. I don't want to rush you. Look,
I'm sorry. Just give me a second. I'm typing in things at the moment.
I
Don't
know.
get too
I know that
flustered.
there was a lot of big brain strats in this game, Kev. I can understand why it's taking you so long. This being a massive big brain strat. So can you just put him in, and can you just put Jay in the water from the start?
I mean, it's a little bit more than that, I guess.
In the water, just in the down the drain,
in the drink.
in the water.
Wait,
just,
can you do that again,
just put
Ben?
him.
Make sure
Go
you
on.
hold your glass up to the, so I know.
I don't have a glass. What do you
Wait,
mean?
where are you
I've
making
got a
that sound?
button. What do you mean? I don't have a glass.
So what you're saying
If
is
I
you're
was to-
scamming us. You're scamming
Well,
us.
just enjoy the night. Look,
All right, I've got the strat sketch ready. I don't know if I've got time for it.
Let's bring it up. Bring it up. Just throw it up.
All
just
right.
chuck it up.
All right, so this is
Show me the point on the map where J rated drowned.
All right, so the point here was he was trying to go after the arty. So every single player that plays the EBR knows their role is to make sure that you kill artillery because you want to make artillery's life an absolute misery. But here's the difference. Here's the Stewie JP difference. He's found this amazing key, and I can actually show this keyboard, even though it is disgusting. He's found this key right here on this one.
That's a HyperX keyboard. I've seen one of those before.
Yeah,
Are you saying the W key?
he found that.
Yeah.
He found that.
Wow.
He found that on the artillery. That's absolutely amazing. It's never been done before in the history of water tanks. Like, normally artillery just don't move. And that's what J Raider was counting on. He's going, of course he's not going to move. It's artillery. And the artillery drove away. And J Raider just went, what do I do from here now? So he's over here. Your view range of your tanks, which are all the way back over here, is over about, at most, you're going to see up to there. And
So he's going to 1v1 the artillery. But what actually happened is he went for a swim.
yeah, because then Napalm decides to help J Raider just wash himself after that dirty tactic, and they both end up in the river there. They're still on the map. That's good. So, and they both drown together.
It reminds me of the videos. Have you seen the videos of the raccoons eating the cat food? And they walk up and they grab the cat food and they just hold it in and they wash it in the water. Have you seen that? And that's essentially what he was doing. He just washed, Jay, I'm just going to give you a bath. Just before we eat you, we're just going to wash you in the water. But yeah, I'm very proud that they found the W key, or as I like to call it, they hit R3 times and just sit back and go and get a coffee in your arty whilst it takes 6 hours to get where you need to go.
Yeah,
so
I was very impressed by
somehow
this.
They came out. Yeah. So no matter how much the CeeCees tried to throw, the WeeGees just wouldn't let them. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, also this mouse was really interesting because no one expects the mouse to be driving up to church, wearing his best Sunday attire, but there was a mouse over here. I don't know if it actually did 1 or 2 shots of damage, but it definitely hit the Manticore once, and it spotted out Jay on his initial bath run, and that's probably why Jay got very frustrated afterwards, because he probably drove through and went, "What is a mouse doing here?" You don't even see that in pub battles. Jordan, have you ever seen a mouse drive from Cap just straight down here ever before in your life playing pub battles on Miravanka?
No, the only place you see a mouse on Miravanka pub battles is like the E2 or F2 corners, where they just sit there all game and say,
Yeah.
well, if there's Artie,
yeah.
I guess I die.
No. This is where you sit as an intellectual for a mouse. If you're truly an intellectual mouse driver, you can't even see it, but you do the red line. You sit all the way back here.
Maybe Madhouse has been rubbing off on you a little bit too much, Kev.
Maybe so.
Look, I don't know. It's all improvement for Kev from here, to be perfectly honest. But back in we go. And it would be a bit of a classic here, I think, if for some reason. And that was I think maybe that was just the WeeGee saying I've had enough. They just turned off the server. They just flipped the switch and said,
just
no,
rage
screw
quit.
you guys.
There is
we're not
more
doing this
ANZ
anymore.
server
That
anymore.
gives us good opportunity, though. Good time.
Yeah, what for?
Free J, if you're out there, if you're listening right now, I want you to walk up to Vondel and I want you to look him in the eyes and say, Vondel, everything you've done in your life comes to this moment.
I thought we were going to go a different way with this, where there was a few memes floating around on Twitter lately. I thought it was going to be one of those situations, but anyway, that's fine.
I don't read the Twitter. What do you mean?
Look,
Bondle,
maybe it's better if you don't.
we need you. This is your time in the sun, the time the people are watching more than all of your streams combined in the future. Fanny is here to support you. Everyone is here to support you. You can do it. You need to carry this team through to victory because Jay, even though he's team captain, everything he's done so far has kind of led you down the drain. So this is your time, Vondel. Step up, lead the WeeGees to victory. We're counting on you.
I don't know if we can count on him, Ben. I don't know if we can.
But someone needs to step up at the moment. It's dire at this stage. No one wants to drop out 6-1. This is one of the worst scorelines you can get as the WeeGees. They're well on the way over there at the moment, Jordan. So out comes the FV 4005s this time around. No artillery, though, which makes me a bit sad.
Yeah, time for the CeeCees to show us how it's done. They don't have as prime targets to aim at, but should be able to still get a bit of damage out with those 4005s. Will be a scary prospect for the WeeGees, that's for sure. Don't mind this strategy, though. Get onto the cap, force some movement, force some rotation from the CeeCees, which is exactly what they won't want to do with a 4005 setup.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow, look at this strat. Is this exactly what we saw from the Skorpions last week? I feel like it is, and it didn't work.
Yeah, because the STBs can get resets, and even Napalm is coming across right now. The Rosanoronte hasn't been spotted out just yet, though, and they know where Ravi is right now. So Mateo needs to do a good job right now. I'll tell you what is not going well right now, Ben, is the WeeGees are losing HP, and you notice the CeeCees haven't lost any HP.
Is that bad?
That is very bad. That shows you're not penning your shots.
All right.
So
taking notes here.
Yeah.
What if they were to fire HE? Can the WeeGees try that?
I think it might be the best idea at the moment because it looks like they can't pen the weak spots of a tank, so you're just going to have to fire HE at this point in time. It is a skill that is only known to those who are highly intellectual tank players, so Ravi is about to flank them as well, which is just making the situation worse. And Mateo's just, everyone from WeeGee is just baiting each other at the moment. What's going on, Jordan? Communication's broken down.
I don't know if there is any communication right now, Kev. They've only just now started to put some damage back into Ziggy. He's the only one that's taken any shots. Come on, can we get a 4005 in the battle, please? I don't care about the Super Conqueror damage. I want to see a 4005 go boom.
I think Stewie fired, but he missed something. Napalm still hasn't been damaged in this meantime.
All right, if I'm the CeeCees right now, I'm saying, Napalm, you got to stop playing the game. And
Stewie's
going to drive around the corner and shoot someone, and then you can play the game.
He shot someone. I don't know.
Didn't do any damage, did he?
He did. I think he hit the Maticus.
I did hit Maticus.
I mean, I don't know if he hit the Maticus, but his gun turret's gone. His 2 crew members were injured as well at the same time, so it's a pretty good indication. I think the FE hit him.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Oh! We're going to get a trade back here from the WeeGees. Are they going to be able to keep it in the balance?
Ooh,
there's a good shot through from Stewie.
Yeah.
Not a great trade, but a good shot.
They are capturing the point, though. They're about to put 3 on with Jay rolling through. 5 seconds on the clock and the reset onto Vondel. Should have seen it coming.
Yeah, Ravi was behind. He had a reset every day of the week. I want to see Stewie get one more shot out here before he dies. Roll around the corner. Can he do it? Oh, never mind. The 4005 from over the top. Maticus. Oh, no.
That's a pen.
4005 on either side. It's a sandwich. CCTP inside, which doesn't taste very good.
Oh,
poor Vondel.
Yep, and Vondel is about to get
absolutely bullied here on the cap, and Vondel, the last one to go down. That puts us at 5-1 now for the CeeCees, and I think they didn't even lose a tank there on their defensive side of Muravanka. That leaves us one more. We've got our tiebreaker coming up, which is exciting. I kind of just want to bring it all down to this. You know what I mean? Like, I think the other scores don't matter when you get to the tiebreaker because it's a tiebreaker. So clearly the score had to be 5-1 to get to the tiebreaker. And now we just play one more map and the winner of that battle is the winner. That's
so this round is worth 5 points.
This round's actually worth 10 points, Jordan.
Oh.
The previous was just warm up. That's like the rock paper scissors where you win one and the person goes, no, it's a best of 3. It's a best of 5. It's a best of 7. It's actually become a best of 9 now. That's what or best of 11 or best of 13. And if the WeeGees just win one map, that's it. They take the entire series. They make the rules. It's don't blame me. They make the rules.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
They're in charge. So I think Mateus wrote the rule book, right? So it's up to him. So Mateo, it's all yours, buddy. You wrote the rules. We'll just go with it. And J-rated down the bottom again. Napalm up the top on 4K, looking good. Good to see Vondel stepping up. You were almost there, buddy. Big Von Dog almost came through this time. He tried really hard. He sat on that cap for like 7 minutes. And then just as he was about to win, he realized that he was going to get reset. But good try. We love to see it.
I feel like they
only
forgot
need to do
about
it one
Ravi.
more time, though. One more time. One more. Because this next one is worth 10 points.
2,785 damage in the 4,005 is not bad. Hey, Palmer. This was like the freest game in a Super Concrete you've ever seen.
Oh, no, he just wasn't punished for peeking that ridgeline. Every single time, just peeking up and down.
So they know Ravi's there, but they just can't and or won't do anything about it.
They can't really do anything.
The problem is there's so many there's so many bowls, so many bushes for Ravi to play in. He'll notice as soon as you try to traverse your turret, especially in a heavy tank, you're looking the other way. That's when someone else peeks into you. You've only got one choice at that stage, which is okay, who's going to be more threat? FE405, who pens me and does 1,600 damage, or a Manticore who shoots every 13 seconds or 20 seconds. Manticore's not good. It does 390 hour for every minute or so, right? So at the end, you just have to let that mosquito just peck you away. There's not much you can do about it. It's a bigger threat. It's got a small caliber gun. And if there's anything I've learned, the big caliber gun is more scary than the small caliber gun.
Thanks for the knowledge, Kev.
No worries.
Thanks. We love to see it.
Bigger is better.
It's our WeeGees and CeeCee's match. We have our tiebreaker coming up, one more. The score says 5-1, but the last battle's worth 10. So it's all coming down to this. That's pretty exciting. Coming up after this, though, is what is actually exciting. It's our third place match. The Matildas up against the Skorpions. Some people would say that third place match actually could have been the grand final next week. So certainly not a game to be missed. So please stick around for that one. Of course, we've got our drops, as always, for the Asia World of Tanks region. Type HyperX in chat to get in on the HyperX giveaway. Type Republic of Gamers in chat to get on the Republic of Gamers giveaway. !ROG in chat if you want to learn how you can enter our competition for the 32-inch Strix gaming monitor from Republic of Gamers. That one is pretty cool. And !finals in chat if you want to work out how to get to finals and grab your free ticket. And the only other thing I'd add there is !Elfish in chat if you want him to buy you a drink at finals, because I heard that's the deal. So we'll get someone to count the number of !Elfish in chat at the end of tonight, and we'll add it to Elfish Guys tab next week. Yeah. So far, so good. But we come down to our tiebreaker, Kev. The WeeGees have won one, and it was when the CeeCees used the bunker strat that Elfish Guy was not particularly sold on. So what do you reckon? Are they going to win this next tiebreaker that's worth 10 points?
I don't think so. I think this is where there's going to be a serious concoction coming out. This is the moment Napalm has been living for his entire life. This is where you really bring out the good tanks. We don't want to see boring meta tanks. I don't want to see T100 LTs coming out from the CCs. I don't want to see no super conks. I want to see something a bit more spicy, something a bit more exciting. Know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I want to see some flip wagons. I want to see... I don't know what else I actually want to see.
I just want to see 5v5 EVR on Prokhorov. That would be fun.
Really isn't. And there is a very good way of shutting it down.
No, but you both have 5 EVRs.
Oh, there actually is EVRs.
Well, almost got it.
One of our teams have 5 EBRs. Let's be real. This game certainly cannot go any worse for the WeeGees than the other maps that we've seen them play tonight.
All right. All eyes on Stewie. All eyes on Stewie. in the 4005.
Ravi's
Ravi's got the
spotted all
info.
of them.
Here we go. Napalm in the Conqueror could actually have a huge shot here as well. if he
This
lines
is
it up.
literally the flying V, by the way.
Oh,
They're
Ravi's
doing the
in trouble.
flying V.
Nah, he's fine. They missed all their shots. Oh, guys, you guys are BBRs. How are you missing your shots?
They're going to run into each other if they're not careful. Oh, Cynical is really doing them dirty at the moment. Driving in front of everyone.
there
but
it
they have
is,
managed to get
finally.
the opening. One for one, I should say. 2 tanks down. 4005, the focus of fire. Good shot in from the Super
Oh, my
Conqueror
goodness.
gun carriage. It's not just a Conqueror gun carriage. It's a Super Conqueror gun carriage when Napalm tries to drive it. They might actually win. I think they might actually win. I think they're going to win.
Well, they're driving past at the moment. They're trying to get rid of Napalm. There it is. So there you have it. 3v2 right now. But Raktajino and Ziggy both
They can
very
just run
healthy.
away.
Yeah.
They can
Maticus
just run
needs to
away.
get out of there. Ziggy is coming very close. So Maticus, I might not be able to get across.
Well, he has for now.
Need to chase if you're Ziggy. You need to go over and just take that peak. Need to make sure you get rid of EBRs. There you have it. Beautiful stuff.
Can you still jump the train tracks?
You can. Oh no, he's gone down. Vondel's been spotted out as well. Vondel, get out of there.
Come on, Vondel,
Come on,
you can
Vondel.
do it.
No. Do not shoot Ziggy. Just drive out of there. Get out of there, son.
If the WeeGees play this smart, they can win. And Vondel is playing it smart. I like what he's doing here. Dropping the info. Well, I mean, he stuck around a little bit too long this time. That was a bit of a mistake. But should get one more shot in for free, quote unquote. Maybe not for free. In the end, he gets Ziggy down to a one shot, but I'm not sure if that's a worthwhile trade, to be honest. I think Vondel could have just sat in the bush, waited for the spotting to disappear, and maybe come back again, fight another day with a decent amount of HP. Now both the EBRs on a one shot kind of makes this a little easier for the CeeCees. Sit themselves on the cap and force the EBRs to come to you.
I still think, though, WeeGees, as long as you don't misplay this horribly with your EBRs, you should win this every day of the week.
Okay,
then
but
again,
it's the WeeGees. So
it's the WeeGees,
Yeah,
that's exactly.
That's my concern also. Look, maybe it is time for Mateo to redeem himself. Yeah.
Is he going to spot him from this
If
far
you know,
away? Yes, he is.
he gets, yeah,
Good shot.
Okay.
nice.
Floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. That's what I think about when I watch Mateo playing World of Tanks. Vondel's
This is not the angle you want to be approaching from Vondel, though. But he still gets a shot. That's good. So STB gun handling, trolling Ziggy a little bit there, and it's all down to Raktajino right now. And he is going to get reset until the eternity of time. This is going to be the most painful 3 minutes of your life, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when you verse 2 EBRs. You can just drive around and just get straight out of there.
Like I said, I told you, the EBR strategy, OP.
Yeah,
I only wish
mean,
the CeeCees would have gone for 5 EBRs.
I mean, that's what happens, right? I mean, let's take a look at the rulebook. What was it? You're only allowed to bring 2 of a maximum tank. No EBR reward tanks. Oh, that's okay. Rulebook's been scrapped.
Yeah, well, this round was worth 10 points as well. So
Exactly.
You
If you scrap the rulebook at this exact time, you know it is up to tournament admin discretion. So Mateo, just helping out
admin
Never.
discretion.
Admin discretion. Just making sure that WeeGees obviously needed that big leg up.
It's helping, but they're getting there. 2.5 minutes on the clock. Less than 300 HP between them. And I have no doubt the WeeGees can still throw from here. Don't you worry about it.
I'm sure they can.
I was going to
Needs
say...
more HE, boys.
Yeah, I was going to say, get some HE into the back. So this is the serious part. You actually get HE. You go behind a super conk. And you hit his butt.
Oh,
Not like that,
bounce.
Vondel. You don't bounce off the back of a super conk. The only way this could go any worse right now for the WeeGees is if they were doodle tank in an I7 and doing more damage to themselves with HE than to a super conk that's on 17 HP. That's neither here nor there, though. But
what can he do?
Can I just add, by the way, for this round to count as 10 points on defense, you need to win by eliminating. It
And-
doesn't count. Doesn't count if you just stay alive. You don't get 10 points.
And someone has to jump the train tracks. That doesn't count.
Yeah,
that
you got to do a barrel roll.
Someone's
So,
gotta jump
all right.
over.
Come on, let's get this going. Where are they? Where's
They're really padding the viewership time for everyone to get the drops.
Well, they're
That's what
going
this is
for
about.
the drops, yeah. I was trying to say, where is Vondel on my map? He's just chilling on the hill. Playing the red line. Finally coming back into it. But you're running out of time, Vondog.
Does anyone have their phone number? Do you have Vondel's phone number?
Give him a call.
Yeah. Just quickly call him and say, man, do a jump.
Discord, call him.
Well,
Do a barrel
I think
roll.
Mateo-
What
Mateo's
if I
going
call
for
him
it.
on Discord?
Yes, Mateo.
Come on, Mateo.
Come on,
You can
Mateo.
do it.
Yes, son.
Oh!
Wasn't that impressive, but
He gets a shot in and then he dies.
come on, Vondel.
So-
You need to go over the railway tracks. Come on, Vondel. He's driving away.
Oh,
What is this, Vondel?
Get in there.
You could
Come
have
on,
been
Vondel.
the hero
he's
that
shaking
we
his
needed.
head. He's shaking his head.
But instead, you're hiding in a bush. This is what Elfish Guy would do.
No, I'm definitely
Okay.
not a red line bush camping player. I'm an alpha male.
This is what Madhouse would do.
Definitely what Madhouse would do.
Oh, well, look. The WeeGees are going to technically get the victory on defense here.
He didn't even send it
but-
off the cliff. I can't believe
I don't
it.
even know, Vondel, come on. You needed to do a barrel roll or something. So, look, I am going to say congrats to the WeeGees on going 5 EBRs and almost winning, taking out 4. It's about as good as you're going to do. You're not going to get the 10-point victory, though, because you just waited out the game. That doesn't count. You'll get 1 point, and the score will be 2-5. That's what I'm going to give you. That's
Wow.
it. That's what we're going to rule it. So, congratulations, then, to our CeeCees on their 5-2 victory. So, well done. Congratulations to the CeeCees. Probably the expected result, unless you're Karath and you're trying to make all the WeeGees like you, but they're not going to like you just for sucking up Karath, okay? It's not our fault that they didn't play very well.
Oh, I know. It's if they decided to drive EBRs a little bit more like an intellectual, then maybe it would have been a little bit cooler. But not everyone can drive an EBR, Ben, as you'll come to soon find out if you do decide to go down.
Yeah,
that
I'm
line.
not even on the line. I can't even get past the tank before it, mate. Like, let's be real. That turret, it only moves 45 degrees.
Ah.
How do you even aim? I don't even know.
So that's where you redline in the AMX CLC biz, or you'd play it a bit more of a TD position. So you should pick the 110 Alpha gun for the turret traverse and a bit more playability. But there's a good attempt, honestly, from the CeeCees, who are caught off guard by the nefarious WeeGees, deciding to pull out the 5 EBRs out of nowhere. A bit
Rulebook out
rude,
the
if you
window.
ask me. Yeah, a bit cheeky,
But
if you
it
ask me.
was fun. It was fun. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed all of those. And they brought the fun time. So, look, I can't fault them for that. So, big congrats to the CeeCees. Thanks to both the WeeGees and the CeeCees, of course, for playing. We'd love to see it. It's always a bit of fun. But the CeeCees come out on top. I don't know, does anyone know what the previous results have been during these matchups? Do we know who normally wins? Is it the CeeCees? Is there a running tally? I'm not sure. I would imagine that the WeeGees struggle to win.
Yeah, I think CeeCee's taken most of the time as well. I can't remember from last season results, so I managed to tune in a little bit. But I think it was midway through a series at that point in time, a Sand River game, so I can't really fully recall the result off the top of my head. I thought initially for the WeeGees, I was like, this was very, very messy, because it's as an EBR, what you want to do is converge on a single target and just pretty much slap him out of existence. Then you converge on the next one, then you keep repeating. But they just got stuck out here with a couple of crashes, which makes me feel like not too much experience in the EBRs. It's very much like when you're playing an EBR, it's very much like dogfighting. You got to blade your vehicle in the same direction your opponent's going, and to dodge it, you need to make sure that you're ducking and weaving. So, yeah, didn't see too much EBR tech coming out.
That was great.
I did like Mateo jumping that at the very end.
Yeah, I love it. Give it out. Good. Yeah, I love the fun times. But no, seriously, thank you both to the WeeGees and the CeeCees. Putting it on, we love to see it. We get it once a season. It's a bit of fun to cast. And yeah, look, hopefully a little bit more maybe match fitness next time if we do this again, or just 5 EBRs every game. I will also accept that.
I like the EBRs. They were fun to watch. I think 5v5 EBR would actually be pretty funny. Maybe, you just balloon it out even and make it a clan battle 15 versus 15 EBRs only. I would watch that.
I'm not going to say it.
Or 14 EBRs and 1 artillery per side. That could also be pretty fun.
Yeah, there was a time I remember seeing that. A couple of EBRs, a couple of artillery pieces. I think it was on oh geez, I can't remember what the map name was, but it's definitely a couple of bridge action that happened, and we shall not talk about this game ever again because it was definitely
This shot.
Yeah.
Are you serious, J-rated? Are you
J,
serious?
please.
How has he missed that? Oh, he hit
he
it.
aim?
No, he hit it, but it went into the track or something. It didn't pen.
Yeah.
How's that not penning? What?
Heat.
What is that shot hitting?
Heat into a track or something like that. I don't know. Does the 50B have spaced armor?
I don't think so.
Because Jay had heat loaded. So that's the only thing I can think of. You're going into the side.
Whoa.
A bit of a
Oh, no.
180.
We're in the outside.
I'm going to be taking certified Ubers and taxis.
That's 2 and 1. He's going to aim for the 2 and 1.
That still never gets old.
I feel like slow motion casting just sounds like you're drunk.
So like normal. Whoa, no, Mateo. I love it.
Yeah,
That was good. Some good
pretty
highlights from that game. So definitely not a 2-2 tonight. That's for sure. Okay. So everyone who complained about 2-2, let's draw. That wasn't tonight. So no complaints from you. I don't want to hear it. Thanks to the WeeGees. Thanks to the CeeCees. Congrats to the CeeCees for a hard-earned victory. Definitely the better team tonight. And maybe back to the drawing board for the strats for the WeeGees. Or, as we said, EBRs. We'll take either. So we'll see how we do when we do this the next time around. But now that the fun is out of the way, serious times are about to begin. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, it is our third place match. The Matildas up against the Skorpions, the two top-seeded teams from last week, heading through this third place match. It could have been the grand final, so you don't want to miss it. It could be the best game of the year, and we'll see you right after this very quick break.
Two plus two really wants to make this work right now. Focus fire going to be onto AVP.
Joaotora's coming in, so too is Madhouse. It might be an overcommitment here from 2+2. He's not going to be able to finish off AVP. Geordie in from behind in the town. Wants to get into this fight, wants to deal with Joaotora. He is lit, but Joaotora is more interested in getting his clip out, which might prove to be a fruitless venture because the brawl has ensued, and now that the bat chats are on reload, well, Madhouse is dead. Joaotora, as of yet, not on reload, and he's not going to be able to kill Whippet just yet. Doesn't have enough damage in that final connection. I don't think this is going to work out too kindly for the Bulldogs, despite the fact they've got the numbers advantage. Yeah, the flanks are starting to come in as well. Bat chat moving, Ravi in the 705A starting to move as well. Madhouse 15 seconds on that reload, but once he does get that one off, I think that's where Bulldogs will really look to break open this game. Though the same can be said for Bales. He has just lost another teammate, and it's a 3-on-4. Huge health advantage for the Bulldogs. An extra gun in the game as well. And Madhouse starts to roll in with a full clip available, just backing himself away, conserving HP until the Kranwagen has clipped on out. But the Bulldogs, despite the fact that it looks like they're bleeding a lot of HP, should have no problems.
They'll be fine, yeah.
Cleaning things up. The Batchat of Bales gets the better of Soldat Udachi, but he's going to be the only survivor of this skirmish. And Matildas will not be able to rely on him to survive.
Oh, Dark just needs to dump into Whip It at the moment. But Bales will be able to get a few shots in. Great trades coming forward, though, from the Bulldogs. You can see how much HP is being bled out, and now Madhouse can come into the equation. They'll be able to clean up Bales. This is huge right now. Matildas have not placed any cap pressure, and now that even though the HP is relatively equal, they're down 2 tanks.
They don't have the playmaking tanks, though. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, okay, you can be down 2 tanks, and the HP can be even. You can still maybe find a way to dig yourself out, but if you don't have your Batchats on the field, your E100s and your Super Conquerors are not going to be able to outplay the likes of a Batchat, a T100 LT, and an AMX50B. Those sorts of tanks are really just going to run rings around you. Not to mention the fact that both the E100s on Bulldogs are very healthy as well here, Kev. So
yeah, exactly.
The reality is this is the worst possible scenario for Matildas, and quite frankly, they've essentially lost the first round of Ghost Town. It feels like Bulldogs have forced a very, very inopportune battle here. It's more of a skirmish, really, as the 50B and the Batchat are wrapping around the back, getting rid of Madhouse. The tanks in the middle don't look like they're going to be favoring Bulldogs either. Cold will surely get rid of Merry Turnip. It is 3-on-4, but remembering Bales is a Batchat with a full clip loaded, and the 50B is about to come off reload fairly shortly. If Dark doesn't get something magical done with this clip, then
Welcome back to ANZPL. It is our very last match before next week's season grand finals, May 22. It's the Saturday at Fortress in Melbourne. That's going to be the Bulldogs up against the Sentinels. But gentlemen, some people would have suggested at the start of last week that the two teams that we were going to see in the grand final, and it was guaranteed, was going to be the Matildas up against the Skorpions. Neither of those teams made their way through. Jordan, both of these teams actually lost in what I would say is entirely different fashions. It felt like the Matildas lost last week because the Bulldogs, for some reason, were able to outplay them across the entire course of the match, whilst the Skorpions were 3-0 up and just had to win one more and somehow managed to drop 4 in a row. And here they are, these two very skilled teams certainly deserving of the top 4, potentially were deserving of the finals here, duking it out for 3rd place.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened. I thought, like, okay, maybe 1 would be fair enough. You expect an upset here and there, but 2, both of them, not making it through to the final seemed a little bit unrealistic to me. And yet here we are talking about them today as opposed to next Saturday. Melbourne Matildas, what happened? They had the perfect season, and yet come finals, it all just fell apart. It seemed like the redemption arc really for Brisbane Bulldogs after what happened to them last season. And maybe something similar has happened to the Matildas this season, where they were that team that looked like they were the shoe and they looked like the sure thing, but it all fell apart at the most inopportune time.
It certainly didn't work for them. Yeah, Kev, they're into the 3rd place match now, though, and I kind of feel like almost like last week was an outlier for this team because their season had been so good.
Yeah, I mean, it was like even reviewing the series mentally in my head and talking with some of the guys about it in terms of afterwards having a chat with the likes of Madhouse and Dark and Ravi and everything. Obviously, some of the players from the Brisbane Bulldogs, they said Matildas have been playing in a style like blobbing up and kind of going together. And it is a tricky way to kind of break apart that strategy convincingly, right? But I feel like that it did come down to, and I definitely feel like it came down to that Cliff game where it was it takes balls to bring out the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen into the final game. Or like into that, where the score was 3-2 for the Bulldogs, high pressure scenario. This is the chance to win, right? Like this is a chance to book your way to land finals. You have the ability to bring out the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen to make its way on top of the hill. And apparently Dark, like he didn't communicate the fact he was going there apparently as well, which makes it even more like strange. and they still managed to get away with it. So I don't feel like it was a case of, yes, it was an upset, but for the Matildas, I don't think it's like, oh no, it's all doom from that point because they lost a single series because there was a brilliant play coming out the Bulldogs. I think they still had a fantastic season. You have to look at contextually. Season 1, they were last. Season 2, they came top in the regular season and only pipped at the very end of the semifinals down to some fantastic play. And the same story for the South Sydney Skorpions as well. I think they had a good season, not as strong as the Matildas, but definitely pipped towards the end where maybe there was 1 or 2 moments of unluckiness, but you once again had to give props to the Sentinels for stepping up. It wasn't a messy series. It was a memorable series. And we're still here. 2 fantastic teams facing off against each other in the semifinals to determine who will come third for the season.
Yeah, and Jordan, I think I agree with everything Kev said there. And for me, and I think I said this to you earlier, and don't remember whether it was on broadcast or not, but, you know, sometimes when the pressure is on, it certainly felt like the pressure did get to the Skorpions last week towards the end of that match. And I don't know, maybe some of that pressure is off tonight. And in that scenario, I feel like there are some players, particularly on this Skorpions team, who maybe play their best, you know what I mean, when they feel like there's nothing to lose. Now, of course, there are things to lose. There's cash, there's gold, actually substantial amounts of both. But I think it's a little bit of a different scenario than playing to be in the grand final. That's already gone past you. And perhaps tonight, you know, you can just play your normal style.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that we have seen some interesting decisions from some of the Skorpions players under pressure. So I think you're probably on the right track in terms of them being a team that maybe is a little bit fresh, and at least some of the players are a little bit fresh this season, haven't really had that experience. Some of the clutches might have otherwise been won if they had have had a season under their belt. And, you know, we started to talk about that towards the end of the season as well, where when players would get into those high pressure situations, they looked a lot more comfortable than they did a lot earlier on in the season. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that's going to work nicely for the Skorpions, but there is also the question of, is the drive still going to be there for them, right? When the land finals isn't on the line, when you are one of the teams that did so well in the regular season to now be at this point, and it's obviously pertinent as well, or it's within the discussion for the Matildas too, at this point, that you feel like you've put in all the hard work and you haven't quite been rewarded with what you wanted. You at least haven't achieved your goal. So can you bounce back from that disappointment and come into tonight just saying, okay, well, this is just a game that we will look to win and forget all of the rest, right? You know, put that out of your mind. Just take this game as it comes, as opposed to having all of that extra mental side of things affecting you. The fact that you didn't make land, the fact that you could have been, the fact that you were so close. And in the Skorpions case, the fact that you were literally 1 shot away and yet you didn't make it. So hopefully that won't affect them.
Thanks, Jordan. Hopefully the pressure isn't on. But what do you think, Kev, between these two teams? Do you know, have they been scrimming this week? And if you don't know, like if you had to pick between two teams who maybe hadn't scrimmed since last week, who do you favour?
I think it's a case of like, who would they have scrimmed, right? Unless they were helping maybe the grand final teams.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yes,
exactly.
That's your problem.
So
that's always the problem at the end of the season. Who do you have to scrim? It can be tough when no one else needs to play anymore.
I think you can mentally review everything as well. Like it's coming in, and just looking at these map selections as well. Sand River, Himmelsdorf, Ghost Town, and Mines. There's been a lot of theory that's been run at this point in time. I don't think you really need to come up with anything exceptional. And as been proven by the Brisbane Bulldogs, you can come up with a great idea, practice it in a training room a little bit. It's, for me, I feel like I know it sounds really bad, but it's at the end of the day, it's like finals. Not every team can make finals, and I think it's obviously a bitter pill to swallow, especially when you make your way to the semifinals. But you have to look at it realistically for both teams as well. For Skorpions, as Jordan was saying, there's a lot of new talent coming in, and I saw that talent getting tested. Russian, you would see sometimes in a very dire 1-on-X scenario or whatnot, maybe makes a wrong decision sometimes, and you just learn from those experiences. I always go back and I go, you learn more from experiencing these hard scenarios and everything, and therefore moving forward you can apply it. Then, say, for example, you clutch it out by pure luck, your enemy is playing. You don't learn anything from that. So, arguably, it's better to probably learn from it right now, coming into the third place match. Next season, mentally review. Okay, I feel like we're still in a good steading going forward. Like, well, there were a lot of positives both teams hit.
Massive positives, Kev. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And I think a lot of the time it's like that. I used to be very negative as well, right? But you have to look at the positives a lot more for both of these teams. So every single team that's been inside the season here, and just kind of go, sure, it's a third place match, and no one, like, everyone wants to be on the stage, you know, holding up a trophy, getting Elfish Guy to buy them drinks. The truth is that only 2 teams can ever have the glory of using Elfish Guy's credit card. The rest of them have to try harder for next season and use this as a building and stepping stage forward.
Yeah. Lots of massive positives to take away from the season. And the thing is, right, and I'm really not taking away from the Bulldogs or the Sentinels here, because they both played out of their mind last week and 100% deserve to be in the finals. But you can look at it back at it statistically, and you can say maybe the best team didn't make the grand final. And that's okay. It doesn't always have to play out that way, right? Sometimes you can be statistically the best team, but you end up in the third, fourth place match. And that is totally okay. And I actually like that about single elimination brackets going into finals, because sometimes you need to just turn up on the day and win. And if you can't do that, then that's okay. Maybe you're the better team, but you didn't earn your spot into the final, which is where we see ourselves now. So the Matildas and the Skorpions, we're heading to Sand River, our third, fourth place match. Would this have been our grand final next week? Will we get to see it anyway? We're pretty darn lucky here at ANZPL. Let's battle.
I think that's one good point, the fact that we do get to see the Skorpions and the Matildas go head-to-head again, and yet we also get to see the grand final that we kind of wanted in Season 1 in Bulldogs, and the fact that we get to see the defending champions once again fight for the title in ANZPL. That'll be next week, of course. But Matildas and Skorpions for us tonight, Kev, and certainly not going to be any EBRs here. 2 bat chats for the Matildas. That is something that is quite commonplace. But the E50Ms, a little bit interesting from the Skorpions.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the plan is with the E50Ms. I mean, I know that they were touted as kind of being the medium killer, so to speak, because of a decent health pool. They've got that maneuverability. You can ram an enemy medium and pretty much obliterate half their HP. You've got some decent DPM. It's not the best. There are a lot of tanks that have better DPM, even tanks that I would say have better armor. But just looking through this, like I guess the soft stats, right? E50M, it's got 8 degrees of gun depression. It's got some good maneuverability. At least has some trollish armor. So just weird to bring it on a map like Sand River, especially on the defensive side. So there's got to be a goal here, right? You're not going to bring E50Ms and go, there's no plan for it. Just a question of what the plan's going to be. And finally, we're seeing something a bit different, honestly, from an attacking team, where we're starting to see a team angled towards a 2 flag instead. I'm glad that we're seeing it finally, but the problem is, for the Matildas, they've lost a lot of south map control.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously you talk about a little bit of a change up for the attacking side, but we get that from the defense as well. It's not often that you'll see 3, maybe even 4 tanks, arguably, in the southern part of the map, if we include the Kranwagen, but I would say that's more in mid rather than anything else.
Quickly touching on a point as well, Geordie isn't playing for the Matildas at the moment, and we saw kind of what happened. Oh, that was a bit interesting there from Russian, but he should be able to light everything up pretty soon for the E50Ms to push forward and kind of trap Matildas in a crossfire. But really important to note, once again, Geordie isn't playing, and I do feel like that is a huge loss in terms of the tactics we do talk about from the Matildas. There's a lot of experience, a lot of depth, people who can try to shot call, or like can shot call, should I say, not try, but nothing like having a proper shot caller. This super conk from JT, though, is in big trouble. Batchat's going to push onto him, so Matilda's making the correct counter call as they lose the south side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, you got Tin Tac in the lineup today as well for Skorpions as opposed to Napalmer, so a little bit of a change up on their side as well compared to what their normal core 5 would be. And speaking of that 2 flag push for Matildas, it's starting to come into effect now with Mary Turnip getting on, Saxon also joining him. So 2 tanks to try and force that cap pressure, but it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of cap pressure here at all. Artie Noob out on his own in a spot of bother. JT looking for angles. He's got problems over on the side from the T100 LT, from the E50Ms as well, potentially if he sticks his head up a little bit too high. And if push comes to shove, JT can look for the reset when necessary, but He's also got guys all the way down the lane that are going to get resets every day as well.
I'm just wondering at the moment, actually, this is not too good for the Skorpions because JT's dead. There's 2 bat chats going to collapse on him. There's no trade potential. Skorpions have actually got everything congregated on one side. And this is the correct call from Whippet. Maybe even start creating a bit of cap pressure over there on the 1 flag instead. But Bales is going to come across, has been red. So JT's doing very well just to stay alive. How does Saxon get an Ignite into Russian? I don't know. But suddenly, just like that, tables are turned. You'd be favoring the Skorpions, but the bat chats may be able to make the difference right now.
Health is relatively even at the moment. Bales does go into the reload. It's 3-on-3. Skorpions, 3-on-4, I should say. Skorpions, though, you do have to remember, are on the defense. And that means time is working against the Matildas. So they do have to pick up the pace a little bit. And that's going to mean pushing out of these more entrenched positions. I think the building block that is going to break this down for the Skorpions, though, is when Whippet gets off that reload and is able to dispatch of Aussie. That opens up a lot more of the map.
Yep, and now they're underneath the ridgeline as well. It does mean that Tintac needs to get out of there. Even though the SB1 can place only a bit of sort of cover fire support, Whippet's now going to start making a bit of a move onto Aussie. But you can see great focus fire coming out from both the Kranvagen and Knight to make sure Whippet doesn't get unpunished for making that peak. So ideal scenario right now for the Skorpions and the Matildas have maybe let the HP bleed out a little bit too much, even though they've got the numbers advantage. Then again, 1 minute left on the clock, plenty of time to cap. Very difficult to try to find the angle to reset at the moment. Knight going to use his HP into it. IS7's got a hell of a job. Bale's just trying to reset the scenario, Whippet, and Aussie having a bit of a one-on-one conversation. Whippet, though, should be able to get out pretty easy.
Well, Knight is going to be the one to send it forward. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to do a whole lot here.
15 seconds.
Does he get there? Does he find the angle? I think he might just if he goes up on the ridge here. There looks like a reset or someone's come off the cap. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter either way. Yeah. 30 seconds. There's a shot through onto Bales. Knight probably doesn't get to fire one more here, though. So it'll be down to Tintac, who can't seem to find the angle.
But Aussie's over here. Aussie can get the reset right now. 3 seconds. Surely he can get the reset. He's going to have to rely on the Kranvagen snapshotting it. He's not going to get there in time, is he? He does manage to get the shot, but the cap base is it's already been capped, so that's going to be a GG from there. So Matildas do manage to grab the victory at the end of the day. Some nice juggling on the base cap between the bat chats. Good rotations as well. But that was very close on the attack, but finally, actually an attack side victory on Sand River.
Yeah, you love to see it. The Matildas coming out with the goods. No Geordie, no worries, or certainly some decent calling nonetheless coming out from them. And a little bit of a different style as well to what we've seen from the Matildas in the past. So I like to see it. I like seeing the attacking side victory come out. And I was looking at the voting stats before, and it was 61% Skorpions, 39% Matildas. So the community certainly think the Skorpions are going to come out on top, but the Matildas managed to have a point on the board.
I expect this is going to be a relatively close series, to be honest. I think we're going to go backwards and forwards. We could potentially go all the way. We could go the distance. Both teams, in my mind, should be fairly evenly matched. Even if Geordie isn't there, I think Matildas have enough depth of skill to sort of take it to the Skorpions, who admittedly also have their own sort of roster change today, if we're going to go with that terminology. The E50Ms, I mean, one of them did pretty well. Knight in his E50M got a fair bit of damage out. Tintac wasn't quite so lucky. 8 shots fired, only 1 penetration. I'm not sure what he was firing at for the majority of that game, whether those were blind shots. I got to assume not on Sand River, but either way, not a great conversion rate. So that might have been part of the issue for Skorpions.
Might have been
almost
as well.
4K damage there, Kev, for Aussie on the Kranvagen. So that's not bad either.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at towards the end. It's like, it's great to have this damage, but it just means that maybe you're not in the right position, or you're not in the reset point, you're not able to really get onto the cap on time. So I'm looking towards the end there. That's 2 extra shots. So, okay, that's extra maybe 800 damage and some good rolls of 700 damage. So 3K, yeah, sounds like it's a good game, but realistically, the Kranvagen was never an aggressive point where it was getting resets or threatening resets. It was just very much punishing Whippet, for an example, maybe getting a couple of shots onto an IS7 as it crosses. But the IS7 still crosses and gets into a place where it can start creating threat onto the E50M, doesn't allow the reset. That's a bigger problem at the moment for the Skorpions. they had a lot of map control, but they kind of squandered it. Obviously got very unlucky in that tier 1 at LT. Saxon goes up because he gets ignited. Or Saxon gets the ignite, should I say, sorry, onto Russian with the SDB1. So, yeah, it's RNG giveth, RNG taketh sometimes in this game.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
But once again, attack on Sand River. That is so crucial to note because it's not been done by many teams so far. The regular season, it's been done now in the third place match in the finals. Matilda's up 1-0.
It's a great way to start, isn't it, Kev?
Yes.
In reality, if you can get that one on and you can follow it up with the defensive side victory on Sand River, you are already halfway there. And I know that's sort of getting ahead, but so often, as you said, it's hard to see those attacking side victories, particularly on maps like Sand River. So you can do it. It's such a good momentum builder. And we know how important momentum has been so far in ANZPL. We even saw it last week. And a quick shift of momentum can obviously change the outcome of a game. But on the flip side, starting the game right, starting off, not just, it's one thing I think to start and pick up your expected defensive side victory, but it's a whole other thing to pick up a win on attack when maybe you weren't expected to get it. So great start for the Matildas, to be fair. Kind of what I'm expecting from them based on what we saw from them in the regular season. But as we alluded to, a couple of roster changes tonight for both of these teams does leave just a bit of a question mark. Okay, just a little bit of a question mark. I will say, though, that all 9,000 of my channel points are on the Matildas right now. So I'm waiting for the big gains, kind of like what Dogecoin saw a couple of weeks ago, okay? And I want to offload and accept my win before it goes downhill again. So I don't know how that works.
How long did that last?
No, actually, Dogecoin went up again today because our Elon Musk is just ruining the markets for everyone. But let's not even talk about that. What are your thoughts here, Jordan? Like, is that what you thought we would see from the Skorpions? I think this game will be close, but I didn't expect to see them lose a defensive side on Sand River to start this one off.
Yeah, I thought they were going to win that, to be honest, especially given all the map control that they were able to take. I thought they were going to go pretty well. And obviously the fact that it's also their map choice, not a great start to the series for them, but we'll see if they can salvage it on their attack.
Back into Sand River. It's our third place match, the Matildas and the Skorpions. Matildas, if they can pick up a defensive side win, which is certainly possible, perhaps even expected, they're going to be 2-0 up after just one map. We'll see what they can do.
We shall indeed. And it's going to be straight on towards the 2 flag by the looks of things, at least the T100 LT. Never mind, it's not straight towards the 2 flag. It's a setup. It's a camp from the Skorpions. They wanted damage on Whippet. The whole idea was to get shots on that player peeking that ridge, and they didn't connect any.
Which is a bit unfortunate, but I mean, distance, Kronwagen doesn't have the best gun. It really is a bit trollish sometimes. ID Noob also spots out JT, allows the Bat Chats to slide a few shots in. This is great bleed coming out from Bales at the moment. Bit of a return. That's a fantastic opening salvo coming out from Bales. Good teamwork coming from the Matildas just to chip away the HP difference. Just like that. JT is actually a 1 clip right now for Artie, so he actually has to play this very carefully. He can't really overpeak and risk losing too much HP.
Yeah, needs to be a little careful, which is not exactly what you want in a Kronwagen, because you want to be that guy that's taking those cheeky peeks, maybe trading 1 shot for 3. But that's not really that worthwhile of a trade anymore for JT, because it's going to eventually get him down to 1-shot territory. Still, he's managed to get himself onto the ridge, and he is still alive, so he's still a gun in the game.
Just, I don't know. The way that he's positioning is like, it's huge mind game mode, because you as JT doing this is like 980 HP. If I saw someone doing that, I'd be like, all right, let's just push him and slap him. Like, he should be punished for this. He's peaking on such an overextended ridge. As soon as you get across to maybe like B6 or A6 and get some control, then you can do some work with the match chat. So even the SDB1 that's up there. But, yeah, sorry, the Object 277, SDB1 has actually fallen back a little bit, though. So Matilda's playing the percentage game right now. They're happy to see what they can find. So they send Whippet through. Whippet is spotted out, but he's in a position where he's not going to get traded. That's an important thing to know. No cap pressure just yet. I didn't know if though is going to get shot by the STB1, I feel like, from Knight. Maybe even Russian as well.
Yeah, I think Russian fired a shot. Oh, I just heard him fire another one, and that one bounces. So...
But the pressure needs to start coming on from these match chats. You need to start getting into JT, get him out of this mid position. The early salvo's done a ton of work. You can definitely dive on onto him. And the problem here is there's only an STB1 that's covering. So Matilda's bleeding out a lot from here. I feel like that is down to Saxon maybe not being positioned in the most ideal position. The Kronwagen from Aussie this time doing some solid work. Pressure maybe coming in from the bat chats a little bit late. Good rotation coming out from JT in the meantime. And now the STB1 from Tintac is a much better position to make sure that Bales and Whippet can't get anything done from this position.
Yeah, JT is really just playing the bait game right now. He's trying to draw these bat chats into an awkward position. Tintac needing to be careful of these bat chats, but JT opens the account with the kill onto Saxon, and so now numbers advantage for the Skorpions. And what we're used to seeing from a position like this is a bit of a snowball effect. That first tank goes down, takes a while. Once the second disappears, then it's a free-for-all, and it should be a pretty easy win from Skorpions from there. But that depends on what happens down here between Whippet and Tintac and Bales. So far, Tintac not getting the info that he needs, and he's a little bit slow on this rotation. There's no way he gets out of this one alive.
Kronwagen should be able to cover though, but I think that was a shot coming out from either the 277 or the Kronwagen. I think Whippet does actually miss one, but now out comes the rest of the clip. Should have enough ammo rack as well. And there you have it, Bales coming out as well. The clip potential of the bat chat so strong that, and even though this tier 100 LT is going to be here from Russian, he's going to try and sting them. Bales doesn't even care if there's going to be a sting coming out from a tier 100 LT. There's 2 bat chats you need to find. Bales still has 2 in the magazine. The 277 can back up the Kronwagen, and this STB on Knight is not in the fight right now to assist with the Kronwagen.
Doing his best to keep that damage pumping on through. 92 HP for Artie Noob, who just comes off the reload right now. Might be able to pose some kind of a defense, but Russian eventually is going to be overwhelmed. Whippet with the full clip loaded. Missed a shot. Is that enough of an opening? No, it's not enough for Russian.
And I think the 277 helped as well, Jordan. I think Mary Turnip managed to land a shot at distance, or even the Kronwagen as well, which is huge. This has gone terribly wrong for the Skorpions. They're taking the wrong fights, and they're not using their numbers as an overmatch. And that's what I mean. It's in this scenario, you had to group up as Aussie, as Knight, dump over onto the Kronwagen, get rid of that Kronwagen, then get rid of the next target, then keep focus firing. But you can see they're losing targets. They're losing tanks that they can't afford to lose right now. Artie's still alive. There's no focus fire there. And now the bat chat's allowed to reload. Now Aussie's dumping over. But for what purpose? He's going to take surely another shot from this.
Bounces off.
Bounces it.
But, well, he does end up taking one from Whippet in the bat chat. And again, I think it's sort of why I continue to bring up the bat chats for the Matildas. You know, it's always those two. It's always Bales and Whippet that are working their way around the map, finding an isolated target, taking them down, sort of snowballing the game from there. You can almost always rely on the bat chats, and yes, you can say it was a failure on the Skorpions' part to take advantage of positions that they found them in, but also good work from the Matildas to recognize what they need to do to get themselves back into the game, and inevitably they're going to be up 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, 1 minute left on the timer right now. Bat chat just supporting Turnip, but this is just a slow bleed out. They're both one shots to the 277 right now. That's why they're not really going in. I feel like eventually, though, it's going to be probably Bales that loses the patience. No, it's Mary Turnip that loses a bit of patience, just repairs the ammo rack and decides to go for the 1-for-1 trade. This is always just good damage to have. This is just confidence Matildas right now. And you don't want to actually push potentially as Matildas, because this is the part. You just let Skorpions get into their own head right now. Just let them go. It's like, you know you've lost. You have to suffer for another 30 seconds. Bales just going to full on send it. I mean, HG Shell does absolutely nothing to the bat chat at the end of the day, so maybe the SCB1 should use a normal round, but 2-0 for the Matildas. A very solid Sand River.
Yeah, looking good from them. There were moments there. Elfish Guy, you seem concerned. JT found the first pick. It's what they were looking for, but those bat chats reacted almost instantly. They bring it back by 1, and I was wondering, was one of the bat chats going to go down? It didn't happen, and overall from there, it kind of snowballed in the favor of the Matildas. So great work across the board. Bales sitting up there. We're talking about those bat chats. The 2 bat chats alive at the end of the game, and sitting up there as well with the looking pretty good. So I think they're going to be happy. And I think Merry Turnip Day, did he find the other picks across the free damage across on the help the Batchats out in the end? So the three of them really sort of combining to drag the Matildas back into that game and did so in style.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it sort of feels similar to that first game in that Skorpions were definitely in a position they could have contested from. At least we can say that much. Were they winning? Were they ahead? I suppose the argument's there as yes for the last round that we watched. But regardless of that fact, just maybe a little bit slow from Tintac on the rotation out. Inevitably, he gets caught. Or maybe you say, bit too slow for Russian to go in there to back him up as well. At the end of the day, it's not necessarily even maybe down to either of those two. Might be down to the call. Maybe he was told to stay there. But the Batchats find their mark. They find their opening. And inevitably, that leads to this sort of bleed from the Skorpions. Russian comes in too late. You're never, ever, ever going to beat two Batchats in a T100 LT, even if both of them are on reload and half HP. You're just not going to have the damage to get through them. So Skorpions bled a little bit too much. Didn't quite take advantage of their strengths and their opportunities, whereas Matildas were able to sort of capitalize on some of the mistakes and openings that Skorpions left to.
Yeah, the sort of play style, again, that I kind of expected to see from them last week. And, when they weren't necessarily rolling around as a group of five ducks going quack, 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 there were these other play styles that we expected to see. And that was one of them. And it was good to see them bring it out this week. So far, so good for the Matildas. 2-0 up in now the best of 7. And a great spot to be in. Obviously, getting that attacking side win it's not a free point on the board, but in a game that we expect to be close, quite often you're thinking it's going to be 1-1 all the way through to the tiebreaker, right? So a good start for them. Now we head on to Himmelsdorf, and for me, it's kind of like, well, at this point, if you're the Matildas, you really do just need to play that 1-1-1-1 for the next two maps, and you come through in third place. So the pressure from my side really now back on the Skorpions to say, hang on, you guys need to sort of wake up tonight, because you can't just play this out like the majority of the season has gone, where everyone goes away 2-2 at the end of the night. You're going to have to find one back here. And where do you start? Do you start on Himmelsdorf or Ghost Town? I think Ghost Town's a little bit easier, but you guys might have different opinions.
It's a bit hard to tell, isn't it, Jordan?
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one, isn't it? I think we've seen pretty good stuff from both teams on Ghost Town. I feel like Himmelsdorf is more uncharted territory for these two teams than what Ghost Town is, although both teams have obviously played a little bit of Himmelsdorf.
For me, I feel like
this sort of seems like both maps are pretty important for Skorpions here. Like, you need to probably get a 2-0 here on Himmelsdorf just to stabilize things. 3-1, I don't think going into Ghost Town gives you a good chance.
I think personally, this actually could be a 4-0 tonight. I'm trying to remember, like, Himmelsdorf, wasn't that where Skorpions actually dropped 2?
They did, if I recall correctly.
Against the Sentinels. Yeah. And obviously Sentinels, I mean, they're a good opponent, but similarly, it's like Matildas are a good Himmelsdorf team.
No, they dropped, I think they dropped 1, because it came in, surely they dropped 1, they win their attacking side, win their defensive side, lose their attacking side. Yeah, it was 1-1. So that's what happened, and that was kind of the story that we were making up, because, this is the way that the Sentinels get back into this game. They win their defensive side on Himmelsdorf, and then it's hunky-dory from there. Who would have known we were going to be right? Not me. Definitely was the 1-1. And I think I recall that actually the attacking side for the Skorpions actually wasn't that bad. There were moments where it was looking like maybe they were going to come through with the goods, but just the timing was off a little bit on the cap, perhaps. So definitely opportunities for the Skorpions here. But Kev, I understand what Jordan's saying. Whilst where maybe one map or the other is better for getting the 2-0 on, you probably don't want to have to go into Ghost Town with it being match point for your opponent. It's a much better mental game, obviously, to be 2-2 at that point and not 3-1 down and trying to bring this back with some form of reverse sweep like what happened to them last week.
No, for sure. I mean, for Skorpions, it's like, how do you get ahead? I don't feel like Skorpions have ever been behind in a series and then really salvage their way for us to be like, yeah, that was convincing. That was a convincing victory for the Skorpions. They did really well. They were unable to grasp victory. They've always been a team that have led outright or barely kind of like got into the draw by either a bit of luck or they were up 2-0 in this series and then something fell apart. But from the get-go, it's just been fantastic play from the Matildas. I would argue maybe for the first defense of the Skorpions, yeah, they took initiative, but then the initiative stopped. Everything just stagnated from a certain point. And we saw that on the attack at Sand River, where there were certain points where I would say definitely had an opportunity to make things work out, like to get an overmatch or a dump when you're starting to lose other places on the map. We didn't see that. In Himmelsdorf, we see the same kind of fear. That's what I'm scared about. The Matilda's rolling in confidence, and they're calling really well right now. They're playing with confidence in some of these players as well.
Yeah, and that's the concern. I'm only 25% through my third drop right now, so I hope that the Skorpions can get a bit of a wriggle on, but the Matildas certainly in fine form tonight. And gentlemen, if they can pick up this attacking side win right now here on Himmelsdorf, I think the game is all but over.
Yeah, it could potentially be. 277, 113, E100 going up the hill alongside one of the 50Bs. The other sitting at the bottom of Banana. This could get a little bit interesting because Skorpions are looking like they want to go for a hill defense as well, which is not something I feel like we've ever seen in 5v5. Normally, the teams just choose to defend from down the bottom. With 50B sitting on the corner, perhaps something that Matildas will not expect. If Skorpions are going to do this right, they want to keep those 50Bs hidden until the 60TP gets the info. That'll be JT's job. Then the 50Bs roll around the corner, blast down a priority target. Ideally, Matilda's 50B if Whippet walks down the hill as well.
There is a big reason why you normally don't go for this setup, though, because like on paper, it sounds like it's a really good idea where you go, oh, the 50Bs can take out a target and everything, but it's very difficult to get away afterwards because these tanks on the side of Matildas can actually traverse down with a lot of speed. Bale's just having a bit of a gears, just trying to see what's going on. Are the Skorpions making a bit of a weird player? They're making an interesting one. But what you can do on the side of Matildas is, like, just one quick point to note as well. It is Saxon out, if we haven't touched on it, 2+2 that's in. One of my favorite players. Don't think he's that good, but he's one of my favorite players.
Oh.
He's going to hear this afterwards and be like, I can't believe you've done this to me. So JT's been spotted out, and Whippet goes, hang on, there's a 60 TP over here. That instantly should ping you and go, something's not right here. Teams don't set up for that unless they are camping. You don't put a 60 TP unless there's a couple of tanks there and you can already see Matildas, they don't want any part of it. But this is good for Skorpions because it buys a lot of time. I think JT is going to realize, like, they're not going to send it downhill. Probably about half a minute or so, he's going to rotate his tanks out back towards the one flag.
The question is, when does Skorpions make the rotation?
Probably around 4:10, I would say. We'll see if
no movement yet. Very, very static in their positions at the moment for the Skorpions. 60 TP still there, 50Bs still there. It's not so much the 50Bs that I'm worried about. They're pretty quick on the rotate.
This E100 60 TP.
The E160 TP definitely going to take a while to get over to that one flag. It's starting to get to the point where now they might be a bit too late. Are they relying on the 277 to spot the cross? If so, there's no info there. Oh, he has been seen. He has spotted Mary Turnip. So now they've got to go. They've got to go fast, and I think they might be just half a second too late.
Yep, everything has been spotted out. So what you need to do right now for the Matildas, just commit en masse. You obviously don't know where the majority of the forces are. Your E100 is never going to get there in time. E100 is going to be the late force coming down mid, right? You're going to see, I would say Artie Noob needs to push down mid right now, try to take control of the mid area. Even if he gets killed by the 50Bs, you get 3 tanks onto this. Force Aussie to do something in this 277. He can't afford to sit there right now. He needs to make a bit of a move. You can see that. Mary Turnip going to set up for a cross shot over that train rail. 2+2 most likely going to be the one that's placing a bit of cap pressure. But there's a first shot that misses from the Aussie, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, 2+2 by the barest of margins gets past that that angle. The 50B and the 60 TP were almost there. Aussie obviously missing his shot. And so the 113 is safe. And now that pressure is on. Cap pressure Skorpion's going to have to find a way to get a reset. E100 trundling around the corner might be able to, but if he does, it's going to cost him a lot of HP.
But he's just side scraping here at the moment. So his goal right now is just a DPM. He's got fantastic DPM in E100. I didn't realize how much it had actually until like I finally managed to pick it up. I don't even have a full skilled crew yet. But JT is going to come across this corner and go, oh my god, why is it 50? Like, and he's actually hit the ammo rack. So JT doesn't have a repair kit. Whippet's come across and it's like, you're shooting the wrong target. The 50Bs cannot be affording to shoot the E100 right now. As much as I hate to say it, they can't be affording to shoot the E100. They need to get into cap.
Well, still a minute to play with, and that's more than enough time for the 50Bs to reload. JT, where's he going? He's gone on a bit of an expedition into a 1-on-3 by the looks of things. Aussie's there to quote-unquote help him out, although I'm not sure how much help that's really going to be. Whippet rolls around the corner. JT is dead.
Oh, man.
And now it's Aussie that's in a 1-on-3.
ID does go down. There was an ignite coming out from the 50B, so that's good. But 277 shouldn't be face hugging. Bit of a low roll, I feel like, coming out from 2+2 over there. Knight's now off the reload. E100 still doing some work as well. Bales, 10 seconds left on the clip before he can be a threat to the E100 right now. Tintac, who should go down one clip. Whip, it should have the clip out soon as well. And this is now the pressure really mounting on the Skorpions at this stage. Sure, they've got a decent amount of HP, but Whippet is just going to contain Knight. Russian comes off Lyrido at the right time, though. This is going to be really good, but Tintac comes down. 150B still going to be in play. Both 50Bs is going to be spotted out. Mary Turnip just needs to be cautious. Needs to play together with 2+2. You don't want to separate right now as the heavies.
Oh, they've already separated in the 113.
Oh,
Not quite going to
no.
be nimble enough to dance around with the 50Bs. Mary Turnip is going to die. And that opens up the door for an escape for the 50Bs. But where are they going? Why did they go that way? Why didn't they go up the hill?
They're split at the moment, and 2+2 means that Russian's got the right idea, but Knight's going to be spotted out. They know where he is. Bells comes across, and oh my goodness, 4 HP on Russian.
Oh.
He gets away with just a sliver of HP.
2+2's got to chase it.
30 seconds. He's not going to catch up?
He's got to leave that other 50B to Bales. Bales has to catch Knight. Bales can't even kill Knight unless he gets 2 high rolls, or a high roll and a decent roll.
Oh, he's missed, so he has to go instantly clip.
How
Russian
have they
just
lost
needs to
this?
hide. Big mistake from the 277 and 113. They shouldn't have split up there. Like, that's your principles there, man. You can't individually go fight a double 50B. So, Skorpions do manage to take this one. All they need to do is survive, and survive they will. But that should have been Matildas round every single day. And that comes down to, just once again at the end, you just couldn't split up. All you had to do was play together as a 277 130. I see the ideas. You're trying to sandwich and make sure they can't get out. But what you're offering actually is a 50B's ability just to fight together, and that's what happened.
Well, the Skorpions managed to find victory from the claws of defeat there. Can't help but feel that maybe the Matildas, bumped that one in the wrong direction. But look, I want to go back. There were so many moments in that game that I have questions about. And I don't know if you want to do a stretch sketch, Kev. I don't want to put you under the pressure, but I'm going to put you under the pressure because I want to know how this plays out. At what point is that lost? Because I see, we're on the cap and we jump off the cap because we want to brawl instead, and we see the battle up the top of the map go in favor of the Matildas. At that point you're like, surely there's no way that the Matildas lose from here. And yeah, we still end up with 2 tanks on either side, one of them on 4 HP, but the Skorpions managing to stay alive just long enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'll draft it up. So I'll let Jordan obviously talk through a bit about the damage. I don't know if that's a low roll onto at the end part. I feel like that was a bit of an average roll, so I don't think RNG. You had to have good RNG to get the kill in my mind.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think my voice is going to be gone if we keep getting rounds like that go one way or the other way and last all the way down to the time. I'm definitely struggling at the moment, but yeah, I think that it depends on who you're asking. Okay, from whose perspective are you asking when that round is lost? If you're asking from the Skorpions' perspective, when is that round lost? It's when it ends up being those 2 50Bs stuck in the 3-on-2. Obviously, it wasn't lost because of some mistakes from the Matildas, but that's the point where you could more or less say, oh, yeah, okay, Matildas is probably going to clean this one up. Yeah. Even a little bit prior to that, it did look like the fight was sort of favoring Matildas. You started to get that sense, but yeah, as with everything in World of Tanks, it's never confirmed until the buzzer hits 0 or all the tanks are dead. And so this time Skorpions get away with one, and feels like maybe a little bit of karma for last week where they were the team that probably had quote unquote won a couple of rounds that they didn't win in the end. So all comes
Yeah,
back.
certainly something.
I got good news for you, Ben. The strat sketch is
Oh,
ready.
Let's go. Let's bring her up. Throw the strat sketch up on the screen, boys. I want to see the real Karath and his expert knowledge. So, all right. So we're at the point where everyone's on the hill and they realize there's other people at the bottom of the hill and they probably don't want to roll down the hill.
Yeah, it's something that you see a lot of the time in Clan Wars. So Whippet in this 50B peeks across and spots down this line. Obviously, JT is a bit further up. And this is kind of just spotting out what's going on. And obviously the bait. Bales is actually down here keeping tabs to make sure there's no repush onto Nana for information. So this is the initial setup that happens. And obviously the setup that then eventually occurs is like the 277 crosses, I think, back down towards here. Obviously, they went the long way around. They got spotted out by the 277, who did a fantastic job making sure he spotted down mid. I think he had this angle to work with, or this. I think it was this one.
I think he's in the right spot. Yeah,
that one. So it's like, I know it looks a bit weird because it seems like there's a building in the way, but there is like a window that you can spot down to here. He manages to spot out the rotation, so he gets a bleed on the cross. But this is where it kind of all breaks down. So it's like E100's over here. I think the 50B was like actually back towards here at this stage. And how the situation became was like 60 TP, another 50B over here. E100's come over to here at the same time. The 277 is like midfield over here. So the first problem is like this E100 is anchoring down this entire corridor. So it's very hard to get a reset. So at this point, I would have said this is definitely a favorite for the Matildas because Matildas have the threat onto the E100, so he can't push. 113 can shoot across. 50B can help. 277 can help out here. As soon as the 60B and the 50Bs do come across, like both respectively through here, 277's in here to try to push out, this E100 falls back. This becomes like a really messy fight where there's 4 tanks involved in the here, and the 50B just kills the E100. I'll raise the tanks that die. So E100 goes down eventually. 277, 60 TP go down. E100 dies. And you're left in a bit of a weird scenario where, okay, there's a 50B left alive, which is Whippet on about 800 over here. There's 2 50Bs, which are decently healthy on the side of the Skorpions. And they mill around here. So after they kill Saxon. So I feel like these 2 tanks group up. They get a couple of shots in, but Whippet gets isolated. He tries to go in for this fight when one of the 50Bs is in here. He gets isolated. He gets blown up. Okay. At this point, you look at this scenario and you go, all right, this would be the ideal point where as a 50B, your export point is not to do this because that's dumb because you go, okay, there's a 50B on the other side that's probably bearing down. Can't really do this either because Bales, I feel like if he's smart, he cuts across like that, right? He cuts across the open fountain like this because he knows the chances of someone making this play or making this play without getting spotted is very, very low. So his high percentage play is either cutting across like this or to cut across because you'll see people cutting across the open. But this is where the mistake happens, and I feel like this is a huge mistake. The 277 commits to this corner and the 113 commits here. And that's GG from that point. 50Bs realize what happens and they commit together. 50Bs back
and
here
then rest in peace. And so the whole, because we don't really get to see that often in ANZPL, the one cap pressure. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen it this season, but it would only be a couple based on my count. It was great until it wasn't. So thank you, Professor Kevin, for taking us through the strategy lesson. Roll back out now. The Skorpions have found themselves a victory, and they need to continue in that fashion. A win on attack makes it 2-2. We're back even Stevens. Everything's back in the game. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, back in the game, but not in the confidence sense. See what they've got for us this time. Double 50B, double IS4. Interesting strategy, interesting setup for the Skorpions, especially given they're on the attack. Double 50B on the defense as well, and it's a full railroad push from the Matildas. They may actually run into Skorpions. This could be quite explosive.
Could be the setup to counter everything, that's for sure. So a big gamble coming out. So this is where you try to get some early map control, but both 50Bs are going to be angling to see if they can find the fight. And for Matildas, I want them just to wait a little bit. I want Whippet as well as Bales probably just to slow down. Maybe allow the 2+2 to peak in the 113 instead. You can see, just peering through the edge of the oil tanker. Bales, 1-for-1 trade. Whippet, maybe a bit enthusiastic. He's taking a lot of shots. As I said, you got to wait for the 113 to get over here, get into the corner. 2+2. This is not a good trade that's coming out right now for the Matildas.
No, it's not. Whippet's going to roll around the corner there as well. Russian is Russian is holding his clip. Why is he holding his clip? He's about to die with 3 shots left.
I don't know what's going on there, but that's completely turned it back over its head. JT's on mid, getting completely farmed out. Merry Turnip. Yeah, E100 and Super Kong's going to easily outplay JT any day of the week, so he needs to back off and wait for the IS4. But this is just time for the 50Bs to reset. 2+2 is healthy. You can anchor out of position. Whippet's just going to play off the contact of Bales. And all you need to do right now for Matildas, you're on the defense. Don't peek like idiots, and you'll win. That's literally it.
That's it.
That's it.
So easy.
You don't even need to push right now. So I'm very curious on what is going on over here right now, why they're doing this.
Because they want to kill. They have the bloodlust.
It's not, but you got to look at it's like the potential of things, right? You have to look at it and go, what's the percentage play? You don't want to be having Whippet on low HP. I mean, sure, you're pressuring Knight right now, but Whippet is now down to a one-shottable point. Aussie's going to be focused down eventually, so all right, Matildas will surely convert on the back of this. Bells is reloading, but Aussie is now a one-shot, so, and that fight over there on the other side should surely favour Matildas at the end of the day as well.
I'm not really sure what happened here. JT's on 1 HP, not for very long. Tintac, the last alive in the IS4, well, what's he going to do? Bounce a shot, apparently.
Yep.
Okay. That is too much. Surely they just trap him in. Surely you just
he's trying to kill Turnip, and he can't even kill Turnip.
Well, that was quick. Hey Ben, how are you? Did you have a good break?
What? Dude, that was quicker than Elfish Guy and a something or other. I would have said that once, but I don't use that line anymore. Nevertheless, the Skorpions got absolutely wrecked. The Matildas, did they catch him out? I don't know. It was kind of fun. It felt like it was only half the Skorpions versus most of the Matildas for most of the game, and then there were no Skorpions left.
Kind of thought.
Look at this. How much damage? Like, actually, a little bit of damage did come out from the Skorps, but 5 still alive here for the Matildas. So I feel like that's probably not how you want your game to end if you're trying to win.
Yeah, I actually thought that Skorpions got the better of Matildas in terms of the initial positioning. They got the first shots off with the 50Bs, but then Russian was like stuck on the mound. I don't know, or he couldn't get down. He couldn't get an angle. He just got farmed. Like, he literally fired 1 shot. You can see 414 damage. That's all he did. Someone's going to die there. So you may as well at least get your shots out onto the 113. It's probably not the ideal target, but you got to do what you got to do. At least fire them.
I'm just wondering if it was the case of, like, if his gun was damaged, it wasn't showing in the mod as an example.
Maybe.
Because that makes more sense at this stage instead of holding 3 shots and going, oh, I'm dying and I'm looking at something. Because, no, his commander was dead for a little bit. He repaired that, but yeah, he just didn't fire a shot. I think he was just stuck in an awkward scenario. You look at his carcass there. I don't think he could get the gun depression. He was just stuck on the mound for a very long time. I was a bit scared, honestly. The Matilda's pushing in at this point. I was going, you don't really need to push in right now. I understand why, but yeah. At the end of the day, though, a very convincing victory. 5 tanks alive, which is very convincing in a 5-5 format. And, I mean, this could have been a 4-0. I think that's the scary part, isn't it?
Yep. I mean,
like, actually, because if that was 3-0 at that point, I can't help but feel that the Skorpions full send it anyway, right? So, yeah, that could have been N. I could have been watching the Brisbane Broncos in Magic Round right now, but we've still got at least one. We are on match point, though. So, and I probably, to be honest, I didn't expect to see that. I didn't expect this to be at match point, like only an hour into this match. We're 2 maps down, and we're heading now to Ghost Town. And the Matildas, they're in the spot. They, it's not going to be revenge against the Skorpions, but certainly I think it would be nice for the Matildas to come out with a win based on the fact that we thought they were going to be the champions at the end of the season, perhaps heading into last week, and they didn't even make it to the finals. So certainly the Matildas turning up tonight. What's going on for the Skorpions here, Jordan? Are they just like, is it a matter of who's in the team? Is it a matter of they're just being outplayed? Is it a matter of, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's a bit of everything. I think probably the motivation and momentum that they had towards the end of the season has dissipated quite a lot just by nature of the fact that they've not been able to qualify for LAN. So maybe the emphasis on this game that's been put in by Skorpions isn't what it was in previous weeks. You've got Tintac in there in comparison to someone like Napalmer, who had a fantastic season. And obviously, I don't necessarily think that it's his fault so much that they're struggling today. But if they were to have Napalmer in, I think that's a stronger individual in the lineup. And so on the topic of individuals, I just feel like a lot of the individuals aren't playing their best tonight. You know, it's just, it's one of those nights for Skorpions where instead of seeing people make decisive decisions or being able to hit these kind of crack shots that we're sometimes excited to see from the Skorpions, we're just kind of getting like, they're kind of going through the motions, right? They're like, okay, well, this is where we're supposed to be. We'll set up, we'll prepare our angle, and then we'll fire our shots when we have to. But there's no sort of magic. There's no extra emphasis or effort being put into this one by the Skorpions. It doesn't feel like they're just trying to play the game out, and they're trying to win, but they're not going above and beyond. And I feel like maybe, I don't even know what the right word, but it doesn't feel as tense. You know, it doesn't feel like they're really going 110% at this game.
Well, they're going to need 110% to bring this back because we're heading to Ghost Town, Kev. They're 3-1 down. A lot of work to be done here from the Skorpions if they are going to be able to bring this back. But we very much know that this team is more than capable of doing that. It's just crazy to me the different stories that we're telling right now when there were moments last week, like we could literally be talking about the great Skorpions 4-0 of the semifinals. And here we are wondering whether they're going to be able to bring this back and make a match of it, or is it going to be done and dusted by 8:30 on a Friday night?
I think this is it, to be honest. Like, there was a reason I said 4-0 on Himmelsdorf, even though it wasn't it didn't happen, is Skorpions is not a team that plays from behind. I'm struggling to remember like a series where I'm going, Skorpions are being pumped this hard and then they come back to win or draw a series. They're not a team, it's like, that have the tenacity. As much as I hate to say it, you look at a team like Sentinels when they're down 0-3, and there are worlds where I go, actually, they can come back and do it. We've seen it before, right? Like, how many times do they pull the same BS out on Cliff? It's like, dire situation, there's one guy alive, but they always win on Cliff. It's like, it's happened not once or twice, it's happened 4 or 5 times now. It's a common motive. But Skorpions is not a team that comes from behind to win matches. They need to be ahead, and they need to keep the pressure up the entire time. It needs to be clean from them, and it just hasn't been that tonight, unfortunately.
Well, we head to Ghost Town. Are the Skorpions as dead as Elfish Guy's voice, or will a cup of tea bring the life back into them and bring this back to potentially a tiebreaker? A lot of work still to be done. The Matildas, one battle away from going home as third-place victors.
Third place, indeed, is what's on the line. We've got a double mouse set up. Kev's going to love that. 50B for JT. So definitely not the player that we're used to seeing in that tank, but seems like he's the kind of guy that can pull anything out.
Just watch the mouse get penned from every single different angle. Doesn't matter how you angle the turret, it's just going to die, pretty much, at the end of the day. Bad Chat is just full on sending it at the moment on the side of the hill, which I'm finding a bit fascinating. I'm surprised he wasn't spotted out either. So Bales will now spot him, so Russian cops a shot early on, needs to back away, but Bales decides to go in for more, gets punished for it.
2 for 2 trade, slightly favorable for Russian based on the rolls.
Yep.
It's not a huge concern just yet for Bales.
He's already gone onto the reload as well. That was very close from Russian. If he hit that, that would have been a game changer in my mind. But still a lot of HP that you got to chew through. Out comes the Mouses as well as a crunch in from the Super Conk. And yeah. Aussie's been spotted out. Might take a few shots from the 50B as well. So Whippet decides to put more shots into buildings than into tanks. Very cool and good. Russian's nearly dead. He is dead.
He is dead. He's very dead.
He is very dead because Bales gets the reload off, and he was definitely not expecting that. So this is now a very dire scenario for Skorpions when he's pushing with 2 mice.
Well, they're going to have to do it, aren't they? Onto the Super Conqueror. Seems to be the focus so far. That 53 does still have some shots left in the clip. Barry Turnip not prepared to fire them just yet. Actually, angles around the corner, looking perhaps to help out. Whip it. No, decides to come back and deal with the mouse. JT circling around. Won't have enough damage to dispatch of the 50p. And ends up giving up his own life, running away from Whippet. This is a messy, messy fight from the Skorpions. But they have gotten rid of Saxon at least.
The problem is, though, there's down so many tanks and mice just don't have, the mouses just don't have DPM. The bad chat's going to come off reload as well. This is just the beginning of the end at the moment for the Skorpions. Artie Noob is still healthy, so sure. I mean, Mary Turnip's going to come across the fight, but he has to use the med kit. Can Mary Turnip get the final killing blow in? He's going to fall away. They're just going to allow Artie Noob and Whippet to do the hard yards right now. And this is it. It's Matilda's going to take it 4-1 unless Tintac somehow with the mouse bounces 4,000 damage.
Wishful thinking at this point.
It is very wishful thinking right now. I mean, E100's full HP. Whippet is on, well, he's got the entire mag ready to go. Needs to go for a couple of ammo racks, and it doesn't help when your shot goes into the ground as well. That's it. Matildas will take the third position. Guns up, raise in the air. The Skorpions, unfortunately, end the season with a bit of a comprehensive defeat.
They do. Congratulations to the Matildas. They played very well tonight. Almost a 4-0 coming out from them, but 4-1 is the score. Locking in third place. Perhaps a little bit of redemption for the Matildas tonight based on, the fact that they didn't make it through last week into the finals, which we thought perhaps they would do. Nevertheless, up against a quality team like the Skorpions, a 4-1 score, you got to congratulate them on that. Great to see if you're a Matildas fan, and a good end to the season nonetheless for that Matildas lineup for the Skorpions. Fortunately, it was not to be. Top 4 again this season, gents. Tonight, certainly not their night. Again, I think back to last week and what could have been and what next week could have been. But it doesn't matter the ifs and the buts. They don't matter. It just matters what the score is like, recorded in the history books at the end of the day. But hopefully big things for the Skorpions in any future seasons. But yeah, I don't know, Jordan, does that scoreboard speak for itself there? 4 tanks still alive here for the Matildas. We had 5 at the end of last game, sort of farming damage. There were moments in that battle where I was like, it's going to get close, and then an E100 rolls around the corner and it's GG.
I feel like that battle was doomed from the outset there on Ghost Town. And as to whether or not the score speaks to itself, I think it does tonight. Like, I think a 4-1, it probably should have been 4-0, let's face it. It is pretty representative of how this series played out. But I don't know that it's representative of where peak Matildas and peak Scorpions would be if they 100%. Were to go one another time. If they were to go head-to-head in the grand final on Saturday, I think you'd see a different kind of game than what we did tonight. We saw them play in the regular season. Obviously, we saw, and it was a closer game than this one was. So, I don't think it's representative, essentially, of where these two teams could have been if things would have gone their way this season.
It's probably not the grand final, quote-unquote, replacement that we hoped it would have been, right? It wasn't that. So, I think we all agree if these two teams had been on stage next week in the grand final, I'm not saying the result would have been different, but I felt like it would have played out differently, Kev.
But I also feel like that's also a big part of, like, when it comes to the crunch time. It's like you look into this and you go, this is a lackluster performance, shorts for a third position. But you can see how hungry the Matildas were. Like, you can see it's like it's a third place. They're not playing at land finals, but they have something to prove. And it's like in these matches where maybe it's like not as much to play for, if you can bring your mental to come into this and play like 100%, I feel like that attitude is going to be the difference in the long run, right? Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I'm not saying the Skorpions like came into this and they want to play lackadaisically, but it seemed like that. Like, looking at that game today, that's not the normal Skorpions we're used to. Sure, Matildas played really well, don't get me wrong. But Skorpions came in, I was like, yeah, it's just stock standard. It was almost like you rock up on Friday night, you've had a long day at work or something like that. You really don't want to play advances, but you're there to make numbers, but no one's really invested in it. That's what the game felt like to me. It's just
story of your life, Kev. Story of your life. But look, I think you make some good points. I also thought, and it was good to see it kind of, the Matildas that we'd seen during the last few weeks of the season. Like, it was Like, I don't want to go back to the whole flying V thing, but I kind of will. It kind of felt like they were just getting really good at rolling around a corner and catching people off guard. Whilst tonight, it wasn't necessarily as much about rolling around a corner with 4 out of your 5 tanks up against 2 or 3 and then, winning the overpower. Like, it felt like they were playing differently. And I think that's a really positive thing to see.
Difference in calling. That to me, it's difference in caller, right? So, because Geordie does like getting in the faces of his opponents, and probably that's why the Wolf Pack comes out and whatnot. And there are ways to counter it. I feel like the Brisbane Bulldogs definitely did manage to counter it at the end on Cliff. But you can see, like, I think it was Whippet that's calling off the top of my head. I don't know if they changed from that, but apparently Whippet called the first one in Himmelsdorf. At another time, that was against the Adelaide Action X. Might have been him calling today again. And every single call has a different play style. So, and that might be a bit more indicative of someone who likes seeking out the overmatches, likes getting aggressive, but seeks out the overmatch, uses that information and takes fights to bring back into their favor. And that definitely felt like that was Matilda's play style for tonight, and it worked fantastically against Skorpions.
Well, it's actually cool to see, though, right, Jordan? For me, the fact that they, you can have those 2 play styles available for you and be successful with both, I think is a massive positive thing to have in the back pocket. It's not to say one is better than the other, but to be able to go out and execute both, and to do it tonight, entirely different type of play style up against the Skorpions. Good result for them. Certainly something looking into the future.
It could definitely be something that teams could play around with, having dedicated callers for attack or defense or for certain maps or for mid-round versus early round setups, that kind of stuff. Either way, I think it's time we start to forget about everything that's happened this season and focus in on what is still yet to come. The grand final, Brisbane Bulldogs and North Sydney Sentinels next Saturday at Fortress Melbourne, is going to be a big one. It's the grand final that we were promised in season 1 and we didn't get. So hopefully it delivers for season 2.
From 2 sides, Jordan, right? From 2 sides there, because season 1 was kind of, it was full-blown COVID time. There was no land final. We thought these 2 teams would be there, but there was no land final to be had because obviously everyone's stuck at home. And this time it looks like we're going to get it. So it's been a while. It's been a while coming, not just for ANZPL, but for the greater ANZ World of Tanks community. I know that both you, Jordan, and you, Kev, have fond memories of catching up with the Tanks guys. And you've got photos and bits and pieces and whatever that you want to recreate that's very special for both of you. But like, jokes aside, it's going to be an awesome day, but both the game and the community side of things. It's going to be an exciting Saturday, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm keen to see not just obviously the teams and the players over there, but also a lot of like the fans and everything. I know a lot of people are based down in Melbourne. Yeah. A lot of people have said they're coming down. They really want to make a good weekend of it. And it is a bit of a time, right? It's been 4 years, I think, since the last land finals, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan. Or has it been 5 years now? It's been a while.
How many years has it been since the land finals?
Yeah.
I think it was 2017 we had the land finals because that was the last WGL grand finals, and that was the event that qualified teams. So it would have been 4 years.
A long time since Go Gadget almost lost half of the professional Asia World of Tanks gaming scene on a ferry down the Parramatta River in Sydney and was never to see them again. But thankfully, that did not happen. He got there just in time, and I think he almost got arrested trying to keep the ferry at the dock so that everyone didn't get whatever. Thankfully, no Go Gadget this weekend, so we don't have to worry about that one. But it's going to be great. So I'm hyped. Grand final on stage live, COVID pending, fingers crossed, 1 week out at Fortress. ! Finals in chat if you want to find out how to grab your free tickets to that one. We'll all be there. The 2 teams will be there. Vondel, Jay, all the kids, whatnot. It's going to be a fun time. Get involved. And it's just going to be great to have esports competitive gaming back. It's back on the menu, okay? It's good to be there. We haven't had many opportunities for these in the last 12 months. So I'm super hyped. I honestly don't know who's going to come out on top. I think both the Sentinels and the Bulldogs are capable of coming out as the winners. So look, it's not going to be Friday. It's Saturday, May 22nd, Fortress Melbourne. Of course, here online as well. We've got a show match lined up for you. I absolutely cannot wait. And because of that, I'm going to close the show. So thank you to you, gents, for tonight. The WeeGees, the CeeCees, to the Matildas and Skorpions. Congratulations to the Matildas picking up third place. Very much deserved to you. But next week, the big one, May 22, Fortress Melbourne, our grand final, the Bulldogs v. the Sentinels. We will see you there. Have a great night.
Hey, look at that lady driving. There's a rock.
Bondle, get out of the water.
Drown him,
Jay,
mate.
get out of the water, mate.
I'm not letting J Rated drive me anywhere in Melbourne. I'm going to be taking certified Ubers and taxis only.